Tonight, we bring you this week's flight sim news, check out an F-5E Tiger II from SC Designs, we preview SimFX by Parallel 42, Navigraph Charts, and if there's time, a now look at Murph's Microsoft Flight Sim settings. Hello? Hello. Everybody, happy Wednesday, the middle of the week, the halftime show, the midweek shuffle. It's time for the news. And it's a busy one tonight. It's very busy tonight. So tonight, right, we bring you all the news, and there was a Microsoft Flight Sim developer update streamed a little bit earlier on, and we're going to catch you up with what was said, right? There's all things happening. The Sky Lounge in the door. We reserved seating for you here at the front row. Welcome in, lads. So the news of the upcoming Sim update, we'll share some of that.
Hello there.
We're also going to be checking out a new aircraft, not yet released, currently in development by SC Designs, being published by Just Flight, and it's that of the F-5E Tiger II. And we have a couple of options of these, so we're going to check out this one. It's a preview, not completely finished, but let's have a look to see its progress. Then, friends, with thanks to Edson and all of Parallel 42, we have an exclusive. We get to show off SimFX in all its glory. It's up and running, and savage, right? We're going to show it off. There's a couple of questions you might have. Hopefully, we'll have the answers for them a little bit later on. Then we're going to check out Navigraph Charts, because I'm sure there's features that you might be aware of, but maybe there's features you're not aware of. And we're going to delve into Navigraph Charts to see, well, what more can this bit of software do for us? And then if we have some time at the end, I'll start going through my Flight Sim settings, because since I've kind of, dove onto DX12, I've tweaked a couple of things. Do you know? So, how are yous? I hope you're keeping well. It's nearly Friday. I always say every Wednesday, it's nearly Friday. Like, just keep thinking positively, and then Friday will be here. Do you know? And it's St. Patrick's Day this weekend in Ireland. That's it, lads. Parading and just generally having the crack. That's kind of what we do. And that's on Paddy's Day is on Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see how we get on. Do you know? I could have a sore head on Monday for our ATCage. Do you know? But it's time to welcome everybody in, and then we'll start looking at we'll go through the news, then this, and then SimFX. It's a busy one, right? I want to hit my hand already. Now, how do I do this? Oh yeah, I moved some buttons here. So who's in the chat? We have Super Typhon. Happy Monday or Wednesday to you, and Monday for next week. Super Typhon, you're very welcome in. Soaring AJ is here. Welcome aboard, man. Who else? Mr. Z Rider. 'Tis the news time indeed. Viper Strike is here. Good to see you. Willow, how much? Hello, hello. Rambog Moored. Have we recovered from Monday's stream? I'm still screaming. It was some crack though, wasn't it? Brilliant. But great to see you, my guy. Zythy is in the house. Welcome aboard. Vacuum, welcome in. Robbie613 Studio. Love your work, man. Great to see you. Bell Bro is here. He says, News Edge Day again. Already. Hello, hello. It's great to see you, man. Hope you're keeping well. John Race, it's Humpity Bumpity Day. Indeed. Let's get over the hump. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce and wolfy. Good to see you, man. Quaggy is here. He says, good evening all. I'm super chuffed. Just passed my new member test in VATSIM. Come on yourself. Great news. Awesome stuff. You're only deadly. Yeah, brilliant now. Brilliant. Now, where are these buttons? Ah, yes, yes. You see, I've moved the buttons to here. Sometimes my genius even makes people question, are they actually breathing? But anyway, moving on. That was really bad. I'm just going to edit that bit out. Jesus. DeBlaze, good to see you. The Bull Bandit in the house. Lee Dixon is here. Corn Wolf, good evening. Assidious, happy Wednesday. Hope all is well. SK Sun is in the house. Onboard Simulations, welcome in. Spitfire RAF 100. Welcome aboard, man. Noel K, good to see you. Night Zepp is here. Happy Wednesday. Stick Figure, hello Fireflies. You're welcome in, man. Eamon 1973 is in the chat. Good to see you. Now, Eagle Airways, Aaron, good to see you. Airlock Doc is in the house with his laminated shoes. Brilliant. Laminated shoes. I did not slippy though, do you know, on a tiled floor or something. That's what happens. Proby Pete, good to see you. He says, nice day to fly on my way from Phoenix to Seattle and checking in with TTM. Well, you're very welcome in. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, happy Wednesday. Muse Fan is here, bursts in the door. Asher Jesus, how he is. What's the crack, yous bunch of mad jokes, yous? Brilliant. He says that to, you know, the Gardaí, you know, the parish priest. Anyone really. But great to see you, Muse Fan. Hope you're well. Helric is here. Good to see you. You're very welcome aboard. Hemming Bird has rumbled in and she says, I saw on the news that they're cracking down on people smuggling helium balloons in their luggage. Police say that they have it under control, but cases are still rising. That was another one of those questions. What goes up that never goes down, you know, with your age? But also helium, technically. I mean, if you wanted to get all scientific, lads, I mean, think about it. Do you know what I mean? Helium, it's all there, right? Zard, it's good to see you. You're very welcome aboard. Adam Controls is in the house. Happy hump day. Have you humped anything yet? Jesus. No. Well, I bashed my knee getting out of the car earlier. Does that count? 'Twas a proper bash now. Didn't open the door fully enough and I thought I'd make it. I didn't make it. Bash. But thankfully the Skoda, it is strong but also soft in places. Like myself. But yes, Texas One Flyboy, good to see you. Damn it, Jim. Ah, sure. Damn it, Jim. He says, how are you, Murph? I'm told not all construction work is enjoyable. Enlarging a drilled hole is boring. But attaching two pieces of metal together is riveting. I tell you now, there has to be some sort of the pun-a-thon. Or pun, careful how you say that, a pun-off? Hemmingbird versus Dammit Jim. We want a good clean fight now, lads, right? No eye gouging. Martel, good to see you. Scorpio 49 has rumbled in. Splendid to see you, sir. Good evening. Speed NYC, you're welcome aboard. Great to see you. Mick Ham is here. Black Ice Gabe. Humpy Hump. No, wait. Happy Hump. Jesus. Humpy. No, he doesn't. He said happy. I can't talk. Happy Hump Day, lads and lassies. There we go. How are you, Gabe? It's great to see you, man. Strike Eagle has rambled aboard. OMG Edson has rambled in. We can't go live. Murph is live. Sky 5. Welcome aboard. Jess is here as well. Welcome in, everyone. And, well, thank you very much for the raid. There's nothing worse. You get yourself up, you know, dolled up to the nines, brush your teeth. Well, brush your hair, comb your teeth. You know how it goes. And next thing, we have to go over here. I hope you're well. Tabletop Android, good to see you. So much hype. It's crazy. Crazy. I just did the best TTM impression in the studio. Really? Did it start with a J and end up in Asus? Right? But yes, welcome in, everyone. Tarpoon, welcome in. Andy is here. Good to see you. Airlock says, this is a live stream, not previously recorded and edited, and not to show Murph falling out of his chair again. Listen, if I can't remember it, it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Now, let me see. AKV, good to see you. Thank you for the follow. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Devil Dude, welcome aboard. What can possibly go wrong? Right, do you know what I mean? Edson and Murph in the same room. Hide your drinks. Right? Canoe Head 2. He's rambled in and he says, so this just happened. I got invited to tour the ATC Tower at Vancouver International Airport tomorrow. How's that for timing? Today, you can just call me Giddy. That's awesome news. Now, did they get to, you know, bring you inside the control tower? Or is it like a big, long kind of a circle walk outside of the tower? Ah, to the tower, all right. Yeah, great. Oh, brilliant. Right. That's what the Irish one would be like. Rock and Rimmer, good to see you, man. Sergeant Peace is in the house. Lads, great to see everyone. Energizer is here. How far will we get tonight until Murphy? Listen, that never happened. Fallen off. I mean, who does that?
Hello,
do you know what I mean? Hello there. Now, Toto's in the house. Good to see you. Iceman, welcome aboard. Jess, great to see you. Care85. Hello, Care85. Old Veteran 965. Scott, it's great to see you, man. Howdy, all the way from the car dealership. Oh, wait. Look at this car right here. Are you talking to that fella? He's going to try and sell you a 1987 Nissan Ultima. Wait, yeah. Wasn't it an Ultima? I think it was. Kingsman is in the house. Good to see you. New George, you're very welcome aboard. Got some tunage. Gibbo Ireland is in the chat. Welcome aboard, man. How are things? Gibbo, Rambog was asking, did we recover from Monday night? Well, to be honest, right, I was just doing one bit. The lads had to do loads of bits in the background. We'll have to throw an old camera on them one of the nights. It'd be brilliant, do you know? Now, let me see. Charlie, good to see you. My laminated shoes are fine until you spill a couple of litres of there's a wrap soil on the floor. Then it's like an Olympic skating ring. Brilliant. Brilliant. Why helium? To speak duck. Huh? That's brilliant. Anyway, moving on. Who else is here? Strong and much like it is, Adam. It is. God almighty, lads. A championship. Oh, brilliant. A championship. That's very good. Greg, good to see you. Hope all is well. Zybot Doc calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. I hope all is well. Andy, you're very welcome in. Pop's Place is in the house. Liptorius is here. Welcome aboard. Let me see now. We got a follow there from Vulcan. Thank you very much indeed. And to everyone watching us on YouTube, who'd have got Anna Cross is good to see you. Travis Miller, welcome aboard. The Swiss DJ, you're looking well. TPH1 is here. It's kind of just people everywhere. There's people everywhere. Gunho Guy, thank you for watching all the streams in a row. Do you know what I mean? Monday night was epic. It was great fun. Yeah, it was great fun. I'll keep saying massive thanks to the lads, but like, it was brilliant. Do you know? I have the handy job. I just sit there and read what was written. Do you know? But yes, it was all given its socks. So that is the plan for this evening. We're going to start off now with the news. Just a bit of news this week, bit of important news this week. And then it's into checkout in an aircraft, right? Ghostbusters ad, fitting for your stream. Oh, really? Did you get an ad? Jesus. And my camera's doing the thing with the yoke again, look. Ah, well. But did you see the new trailer for Ghostbusters? It looks all right, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Patrick, Asher, how are you, Patrick? Good to see you, man. Hope you're keeping very well. Check out mod. Oh, it did. Oh, hang on, get my car inspection done. Ah, Scott, you big old romantic. We can't say anything now in case she's watching. We know she watches, even though, you know, you tell us she doesn't. Do you know? It's our secret. 2 dogs, thank you very much indeed. 15 months subscribed. Dude, thank you very, very much. It's great to see you. Only 5 streams. It's all right, Zybok. You're doing well. Now, let me see. The Latam 787. Yeah, what is going on in the world? It's been a mad couple of weeks in the real world aviation side, isn't it? Between, you know, aircraft not doing what they're supposed to, pilots falling asleep. Jesus, there's mad things happening, isn't there? I hope that's not my screen fading out or fading in and out, Murph. No, it's my camera. It's I have a screen over it in the ISO. I think it's the ISO. Gibbo said, Murph, you need to do something with your ISO. And I was like, yeah. Obviously, clearly not knowing how to do it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll get right on that. I don't know how to do it because I tried it and it made everything terrible dim. Do you know? But it's grand, you know. Well, it's not really. I have to fix it. I will fix it, right? 2 days until I go to Manchester. Oh, brilliant. Man yourself, Patrick. Excellent news, man. Excellent news. Right, okay, so we're going to ramble over to another screen. Wait till you see the transition, lads. This is just, you know, and then we come over here, look. And I forgot to turn on other lights. I didn't turn on my other lights, lads. But sure, listen, it's all grand here now. So here we are in the sim, and we're going to be checking out this aircraft soon. Stu, good to see you. And this is an upcoming aircraft from SC Designs, right? And let's see, what's the time going to be like when we're about ready?
Can I get a refund?
There's no refunds. Are you mad, Cornwolf? So we will be checking this one out in a couple of moments. But first, we want to go through the news. So I'm going to pause the sim, as we do. And we're going to bring up where I have all the news, you see. The news is hidden away here at the corner, look. So we'll start off with the news, lads. Are you sitting down? Are you comfortable? Do you know? Sit down now, comfortable and comfortably, you know, and we'll see how we get on. So we saw that Miltech Simulations, well, they've released the CH47D. Actually got an update, I think it was yesterday, and for the most part it's behaving. I'm still getting performance issues, but they're working on it, right? And the blade slap, the sound of the blade when you're, you know, moving through the air, it's not right yet, but the developer is they're very aware of it, so they're going to try and fix that.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're going to see some serious shit.
Right, as he said to the Skoda. But Miltech, on the back of releasing the CH47, they were actually developing the U2 spy plane in conjunction with that. And this is a project that they started several months ago. But we have some news here, and a big shout out to MSFS to Vashko. Thank you very much indeed, dude, for doing everything you do, providing all the news. And to Callum and the lads at FS Elite, and of course Sergio Costa over at Heli Simmer. These guys do awesome work providing us and keeping us up to date with all of the news. So it's great to see. So we're going to start off with here. It's one of the most specialised airplanes ever made, the U2. And we don't mean Bono or Edge. It was designed and built by the masterminds at Lockheed's legendary Skunkworks division, being developed for Microsoft Flight Simulator by Miltech Simulations. They announced this new project this week, just on the heels of the release of their CH47, marking another ambitious step for the developer, who is keen on bringing us some of the most interesting flying tools in the United States military arsenal. Right? I mean, we saw the Osprey, we saw the CH47, and now this. The U2 spy plane, a single-engine, high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft, needs little introduction. Despite the secretive nature of its missions, it had been a significant part of aerial intelligence operations since the 1950s. Operated by the US Air Force and the CIA, well, the U2 has played a pivotal role in major world conflicts, including the Cold War, flying over such territories as the Soviet Union, China, Vietnam, and Cuba. Its service has extended into the post-Cold War conflicts, including Afghanistan and Iraq, alongside contributions to various NATO operations, which continue to this day, right? Miltech's rendition of the U2 spy plane aims to bring this icon of high-altitude flight to Microsoft Flight Sim. The developer says the project has been in the works for several months, developed in secret in parallel with the Chinook, right? Muse fan, gifted a tier 1 sub to Patrick. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. Cheers. You mean that if the Skoda hit 88 miles an hour, it'll inexplicably explode into a million? Please? No, Viper. Skoda's a great car. I just don't like getting it past 85. It could do 88, mind you, down a hill and a good gust of wind, but in general, shake off, will you? It's grand. But anyway, this is looking interesting. Miltech are actually working on two variants of this aircraft. The U2R, featuring the older analog cockpit, and the more modern U2S, which has the glass cockpit. And the developer has shared a couple of images here. I have to say, lads, they look very pretty. So this is the old kind of steam gauge version, which looks very pretty and very nice. I think you can all agree. And it's also going to include its own mission system. Inspired by real-life Cold War events such as the Cuban Missile Crisis and even the space race, along with modern incidents like the Chinese balloon episode, the mission system promises to deliver engaging and historically grounded scenarios for virtual pilots. It's also going to include authentic flight dynamics. It's a notoriously difficult aircraft to fly, particularly its challenging landing process and the operation near the coffin corner, which will be accurately modelled. It also will feature a chase car assistance. In line with the real-world operations of the U2, a chase car will guide simmers during the landing phase, replicating one of the most distinctive and challenging aspects of flying the U2. So a chase car would go behind it and say, yeah, come on, you're nearly yeah, that'll do. That's mad, isn't it? Anyway, we don't have any real specifics just yet in terms of pricing or a release date, but the developer has confirmed it's coming this year, and it will be available on both the Xbox and the PC. These images here, looking at the more modern variant, as you can see, the glass cockpit has been set up. What do you think of it, lads? It's an interesting airplane, isn't it? It's often referred to as the Dragon Lady. It's a true marvel of aviation engineering. There's a wonderful documentary on YouTube all about the U2 and Skunkworks and so on. But the aircraft can operate at altitudes over 70,000 feet. At this altitude, pilots wear pressurized suits similar to those worn by astronauts to survive the near space conditions. At these altitudes, aircraft performance is nowhere near what is capable at lower altitudes. Because of this, flying the U-2 is an exercise in precision. Ooh. At the operational altitudes of the U-2, the margin between the aircraft's stall speed and its maximum speed before structural damage occurs is incredibly narrow. This precarious flight envelope is known as coffin corner, requiring pilots to maintain a very precise airspeed to avoid either stalling or exceeding the aircraft's structural limits. It looks pretty cool. So I've never seen, have I seen one of, I don't think I've ever seen one of these up close and personal. It's a beautiful looking plane, and as I said, there's a great documentary and the story all about this aircraft. It's pretty cool, right? So that's great news. A U-2 in development for Microsoft Flight Sim by Miltech. And looking at the images here, I mean, it's you know, if you're saying this year, it's looking promising. Now, FlightFX, they made huge news tonight on the developer stream. We'll get to that shortly. However, their Project Apex, right? We got a couple of screenshots from Nick some months ago, and we were showing it off here live on the stream. Well, they have finally unveiled that Apex is that of a Citation 10, Citation X, and it's in development for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And they also teased what could be the Challenger 350, or at least FlightFX's version of a Challenger 350. And based on what the current 350 is like in the sim from Sim Federation, well, it's going to be like day or night in the difference, right? So here we have it. A couple of days after spotting the FlightFX team board a Cessna Citation, gathering data for their upcoming rendition, they released a video with Air Force Proud. And it's all about the lads. Marwan was there as well. He brought us the H-Jet. And Nick was there and the rest of the team, along with Air Force Proud. And they took an L flight in a Citation, and it was a 5-hour flight across the USA. And it was all about getting the recordings. Very kind of Just Flight A2A-esque in terms of how they capture the sound recording, right? Which looks brilliant. And some of the screenshots I've seen that we shared here in the stream, I mean, jaw on the ground of how beautiful it looks. But they've gone a lot more than just the sounds, of course, and the visuals, because their Citation features its own unique aviations package, which hasn't been seen yet in the sim. But anyway, the newly released images highlight the external models, showcasing the mighty Rolls-Royce engines and several modelling nuances. FlightFX prowess in this area is on full display. It looks beautiful, beautiful. In addition to the external visuals, a new image of the flight deck also shared, which has been more striking. Previous teasers provided a glimpse of the cockpit, but the latest image reveals it in all its splendour, including the Honeywell Primus avionics. That's a first for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's undoubtedly a meticulously crafted environment that will delight the business jet fans. So there are a number of pictures here. It looks incredible, and it's a cool, mad-looking jet. You know, the Cessna Citation 10. It's beautiful. But it's interesting because those avionics, there are some very well-known business jets that aren't terribly fond of having their aircraft shared, but they use the exact same avionics amongst other aircraft. So it'll be interesting to see what other aircraft now will start appearing in the world of the sim, because with FlightFX, well, they've gone off and built it. Do you know what I mean? They went off and they built it. So this is looking very, very impressive. I think the pictures here are beautiful. Of the exterior model, and look at that, look at the cockpit in that, lads. Isn't that just absolutely frigging gorgeous? That never works in Firefox, but isn't it gorgeous looking? So I'm really, really looking forward to this. So it's worth noticing, or it's worth noting, beg your pardon, the FlightFX plans to release not only the Citation X but also the X Plus. While it remains unclear if these releases will occur simultaneously or will they be separate, the latter seems more probable. There's much to discover about the project, and FlightFX is expected to share further details in due course, so keep an eye out. But that's not all. They also released a laser scan of what is believed to be that of the interior of a Bombardier Challenger 350. This is pretty cool, right? As we can see, they continue to focus on the business jet segment within their aircraft projects for Microsoft Flight Sim, a niche largely overlooked by other development studios. Now, we say that, but we are aware of a number of other business jets in development, and also those that have been released. The Phenom 100, for example, by Cockspur. We know there's a Phenom 300 in development by FS Reborn. We have the Citation, and there's a handful of others on the way, right? So it's great to see this, and like this is the early workings of like a 3D scan. It's pretty cool how they kind of get the data, and then the artists go off and, oh yeah, okay, that's how it looks. That's the size. That's the height. Do you know what I mean? Pretty cool. So I've no other news yet, but they are working on this aircraft, and great news for anyone who likes flying in the business jets for sure. Now, this aircraft we're checking out tonight, it is that of SC Design's F-5E Tiger II, which is due to be released very soon for Microsoft Flight Simulator. SC Designs, or DC Design's sister studio, well, it's on the verge of releasing its latest military aircraft for the sim. Known so far for their F-16, DC Designs is now set to expand its repertoire, and the F-5 Tiger II is in the prime location. It is a super elegant light jet fighter introduced in the 1960s, serving in various air forces around the world. Anyone who likes Top Gun, you'll hey, that looks, very familiar because, well, they actually used the F-5 to mimic that of a MiG-28 in the original Top Gun movie. And they're very, very fast. There's a relatively simple jet, says he who hasn't flown it yet. But right, in terms of systems or whatever else, it was built to be, a fairly light to operate aircraft for the pilot. Do you know? But anyway, leading up to the release, which is expected in the next couple of weeks, Just Flight have now pushed live the official product page with all the details that we need to know about the package. We're going to have a look at it tonight, and I've some information here. It's priced on Just Flight's website if you want to go have a look, and a couple of the features: high fidelity model with detailed textures and animations, fully functional cockpit with authentic instruments, custom coded systems to replicate the aircraft's real performance, and you'll see, or you'll note, that there are weapons modeled on it visually. Again, that'll only be available on purchases of the aircraft from outside the official marketplace. So keep that in mind if you want to have your weapons shown. But where SC and DC Designs kind of are when it comes to aircraft, because it can be, here's a military aircraft coming out, and it's like, well, we've been kind of spoiled with the likes of, say, Heat Blur and India Fox Deco. However, the mission, if you like, or the goal of what SC and DC Designs do, they want to bring, I don't want to say it's the medium level, because it's not, because some of the aircraft are actually excellent, right? But in terms of, they're aiming for maximum enjoyment, right? They don't want to make the thing simple, and stupid, Control E and away you go. No. There has to be a bit of depth here, so you can at least figure out and get a general idea of how the systems of the aircraft would operate. And of course, the sense of operating the aircraft, flying it. That's what they aim for. So they aim for, a good dollop of realism and a good dollop of easiness. That's their aim point. And we've seen that with the F-14. We've seen it with all their aircraft. They're relatively okay to jump into, but you need to figure out how the things work. It requires a little bit of reading up in the manual. And I think this is going to be pretty much the same. So, for those interested in adding this iconic aircraft, the product page for SC Designs is now live, and the price tag is going to be €21.95. So $20, give or take, right? So we'll check this out in the stream here now shortly. Dr. Sisu, it's good to see you. Simple and stupid. You called me? Happy 27 months. Jesus, 27 months, man. Thank you very much. It's great to see you. So moving on, Aerosash released the Tecnam P2010 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. A small little general aviation airplane has just been released. So Aerosash, in collaboration with developer Eraldo Samuri, also known as Aerosam, they've released a new aircraft from the Italian manufacturer Tecnam. Following the release from the P92 Echo just over a year ago, the team have now brought the P2010 model into the sim. The sleek, single-engine aircraft first took to the skies in 2012 and has since been a noticeable contender in its category, celebrated for its sleek design and performance. The aircraft distinguishes itself with a composite fuselage that embodies a modern approach to aircraft design, striving for efficiency, comfort, and stability. The aircraft not only delivers impressive performance with a maximum cruise speed of up to 146 knots and a range of up to 1,050 nautical miles, but it also prioritizes comfort and ease of flight. These attributes make it an appealing option for both family use and flight training programs. For Microsoft Flight Simmers, the Tecnam by Aerosash promises to be a faithful representation of the aircraft, and we have a summary of some of the features. Now, I wasn't mad when I saw the visuals of the inside. Now, again, I haven't got this aircraft, and a picture usually can be detrimental to a developer if there's no video or there's no footage, because, well, if the lighting isn't just right or the angle isn't just right, it can look a bit kind of, At the same time, if you get the angle and the lighting right, well, you can actually make something look better than what it is. So video really helps here. But look, it's sporting modern avionics. It's using the G1000s. I don't know, it's kind of textures. It looks a little bit bland. The exterior, however, looks pretty nice. It's a small little airplane, do you know, but it looks nice. Epic Fool bursting in the door. In news just out, Cross the Pond 2024 westbound has just been announced, and Dublin is included. Yup, there with that. Did you all vote? Where's Adam? You're going to be flat out, lad. Thanks for that, Epic Fool. Great news, man. But yeah, look, you can kind of see from the angles. There's a nice detail on the main panel here, yeah. And I suppose the glare shield isn't too bad up on the top. It's just kind of beneath that. It looks a bit, well, it's composite, so maybe. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, fully animated and realistic 3D cockpit with multiple internal views. Fair enough. Detailed Garmin G1000. Fair enough. Interactive and fully working breakers panel, so your circuit breakers are modelled. That's a nice touch. Comprehensive instrument panel lighting system, along with operational cabin lights, and all aircraft doors and emergency exits are functional, with animations tied to airspeed limitations. Handling yokes for pilot and co-pilot feature manual and automatic visibility with functional buttons on the pilot yoke, and the rudder switch trim and elevator wheel pitch trim are accessible and are animated. Some of the external features, animated movable surfaces, well, that's a given. That's a very strange feature. The ailerons flaps move. Well, they're supposed to. Rudder trim moves, though. That's pretty nice. And the elevator trim. So the extra kind of surfaces on the surfaces move. That is a nice touch. Animated central steering wheel on the main gear. Operational pilot and co-pilot doors. Fully functional lights. And external static elements, including a GPU, Peter tube cover, tow bar, wheel chocks, tie downs, and so on. That's not too bad. It even offers an EFB, which is kind of nice, and the flight model has been tested by real pilots to closely match the real aircraft's behaviour, providing a real as it gets experience. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Tecnam have been making a name for themselves, be it, you know, officially or unofficially in the sim. We now have, is that the fourth Tecnam aircraft? We've the 2012, the 2006, the P92, and now the P2010. Anyway, this aircraft is available now through Sim Market, priced at about €20. And if you're interested, if you're thinking about getting it, let me know. I'd be more than happy to buy it and stream it, just so you know what the crack is. All right. Now, Innie Builds, this is an update last week. Well, they've updated New York's JFK scenery with numerous performance improvements. I thought I'd include this. So, nearly a year after launching one of its most ambitious projects for the sim, Innie Builds have released a substantial new update for its ultra-detailed Kilo Juliet Foxtrot Kilo JFK. This update, version 1.2.0, introduces a host of improvements aimed at enhancing performance and user experience, especially for those on the lower end systems. Innie Build's rendition of JFK is a notoriously demanding scenery that pushes user systems to the limit. It recreates one of the busiest international airports in the world and one of the most sprawling urban landscapes. This complexity not only challenges the simulation in pure aviation terms, but also demands a lot from the hardware. In the update, the development studio has tackled several performance issues reported by users, introducing options within Innie Manager's scenery config panel for significant performance optimization. A key feature of this update is the option to completely disable detailed interiors, replacing them with parallax windows, and this adjustment has been shown to greatly improve performance during the initial tests, providing a smoother experience for users. Wombat49 is here. It's good to see you, Wombat. How are you, man? Jesus, 25 months, look. This is kind of cool, lads. Like, here we have a scenery that's a year old and the developers are going back to make it even better because they're optimizing it better. I like that. This needs to be encouraged. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, it's available now if you already have it. It's a free update. And, well, some of the release notes are massive. Model split into smaller sections. LOD values adjusted. Overall material resolution and count reduction. Further implementation of instancing. Added the option for parallax when detailed interiors not in use. Fixed multiple model issues. Added emissive boost to floodlights. Implemented smaller LOD radius. Reduced the amount of people models by approximately 50%. Separated the mesh to ensure none have greater than 65,000 vertices, so on and so on and so on. All the technical stuff. They've done all the technical stuff. Do you know what I mean? Let me see. Randy, thank you very much indeed for subscribing. Cheers, man. So there's quite a bit there. And, well, the update is available now if you want to go and grab it. Now, moving on. Flightbeam Studios have shared new images of the Captain's Edition of San Francisco, KSFO, right? Flightbeam Studios may take their time, but they constantly deliver exceptional results. This is the ongoing promise from the developer, who dedicates considerable effort into creating the most realistic, authentic, and visually stunning virtual replicas of the airports they tackle. The philosophy is currently being applied to the iconic KSFO airport in San Francisco. So since its announcement, there's been limited visibility into the project, with only a handful of images being released sporadically. However, according to Mir from Flightbeam Studios, who recently shared some new previews and insights, the development process is progressing smoothly, which is pretty nice. The developer acknowledges the community's eagerness and curiosity about the project, but cautions that developing a Captain's Edition title is an immense undertaking, requires extraordinary attention to detail, visual complexity, and performance optimization. Mir assures that the effort will be worthwhile, a sentiment we share without reservation. So some of the pictures here look pretty nice, right? San Francisco, again, this is another area that tends to be a little bit heavy in the sim. There's a lot of scenery going on. Plus you've hills, mountains, rivers, lakes, all that sort of jazz, and the sea, do you know? But anyway, it's anticipated to be completed before the summer season. Okay, so 2 months, give or take. The previews provide a window into the meticulous craftsmanship and dedication that goes into recreating the iconic San Francisco International Airport with the level of realism Flightbeam Studios is known for. It appears we're just a few months away from the release of this eagerly awaited airport. So we'll keep you up to date once we hear more. But anyone who was looking forward to this rendition of San Francisco, well, it's very much up and running, you know? It's now known as SFO. SFO? Interesting. Yeah, but that's good news. Now, big shout out, I think it was Nightsep who gave me this tip off earlier on, and I have since spoke to the developers, and this is from Red Wing. We previewed this some time ago, well, we showed a video some time ago of the LZ129, right? Basically a blimp, and there is a blimp on the way into Microsoft Flight Simulator. So as I said, I was chatting to the developer about this a little bit earlier on. So it's coming soon, very soon, and I'll have to have a look at it. I didn't want to just jump in and hop in, because it's the sort of craft or aircraft you need to know what you're doing. But effectively what it is, I mean, it's a blimp, right? The Zeppelin, or the other one, what was it called? What was it called, actually? The Hindenburg and the Zeppelin and so on, right? So you can see, look, it comes with its own little clipboard. That's effectively your EFB, right? And there's a whole load of options that we can see here. From the cockpit perspective of this thing, there's the lads holding everything down. So there seems to be a lot going on with this. You know, you have your marshaller there with the red flag, red light coming on at you there now. And then when the craft takes off, the ship takes off, we'll scroll ahead, well, you actually see the thing taking flight. It's mad looking, isn't it? It's mad looking, this thing. So, I don't know, lads. It's a very unique aircraft, and Red Wing, they're very good at doing that. It's a very unique aircraft to have in the sim, and I'm looking forward to the release of this. You're not going to break any speed limits now, but do you know what I mean? This could be just grand now for going for a bit of an old cruise, do you know? But it's mad looking. A blimp. There's going to be blimps, which is pretty cool. So that is due to release very, very soon indeed. I've no details on pricing, but keep your eyes peeled. That'll be out soon. So moving on, we had the developer update this evening just, and well, there's a couple of nice snippets of information here, right? So Jorg began the stream updating the community how the Antonov, there was another update in relation to the Antonov and how much, donations are going to go, 1.5 million, right? Nuts. Then we went on to the scenery and weather, and it was about bringing back weather masking to the sim. So there's a couple of issues, and if anyone turns on the simulator tonight, there's an update, right? If you have Microsoft Flight Sim and you've just updated it tonight and you want to know what it is, well, it's masking. It's a lot of masking from the last world update. The water masking, they've gone back and they've fixed a lot of that, you know. Yeah, so there's different aircraft. So you have the Hindenburg, then you have the LZ-129. Oh, that is, yeah, sorry. The LZ-129 Hindenburg. Sorry, it wasn't the Zeppelin. My mistake. Thank you, Night Zepp. Yes, wasn't the Zeppelin. It's the Hindenburg. But anyway, as you can see here with some of the images here, like they look class. So they know the water masking is an issue, and I think the Sober are going to be quite busy on that, right? You know, they were talking about the bridges as well. That all came into it. Sim Update 15. Now, they've initially put a date here on the 26th of March, right? And they said they might change that depending on where they're at. But of what they're doing, right, there's a number of fixes kind of coming into this. They've added extra controller, you know, the Yeoman controller, ground texture popping, they're working on that. So the tile popping issues that are being observed in Italy, Malta, and a few other locations should be addressed. We're currently working on a comprehensive list. Ground texture popping. So that's like, you're just seeing this weird square look thing, right? The P51 fixed an issue that caused you to lose power on full throttle. Live events have been updated. New memory allocation strategy. This is the big one because it's going to result in better FPS and less stutters. So this is a performance boost we can expect with Sim Update 14. Also for helicopters, the tandem rotor support has been added for tandem rotors. Prime example being the CH-47, and Miltech said they are going to tweak them as well, right? xCloud Touch and Gyro, the available controller options will be available on Simmers as well. And the next one over here then, air traffic improvements. Data refactoring to improve the fidelity of live traffic, improved aircraft models and livery matching on the PC. But again, this is only for the AI air traffic. This isn't to do with your multiplayer. Working Title are working on all this stuff. And I asked them at the last dev update, hey, can you do this for multiplayer? And they were like, oh, we never thought about that. Right, so that's where we're at. A couple of aircraft fixes. Microsoft and our first-party partners are working on improvements and fixes. Game of the Year edition and so on. The teams are currently working on updates for the Airbus A310 and also the Pilatus PC6 Porter. ATC improvements. Cannot hear ATC instructions. They believe that to be fixed. Bush Trip Achievement, Fire and Ice seem to be up and running, as do the Amoy and Gold Rush. Glass Cockpit performance improvements. Nice, right? That's another improvement. The G3X Touch working title is adding the popular G3X Touch, which will be supported in the VL3, Xcub and NXCub at launch of Sim Update 15. And I'm aware of a handful of third-party developers that are implementing this as well. And then we have the iced water improvements. Increase the threshold of snow depth that causes water surfaces to ice from 27 centimeters to 72 centimeters to limit wrongly iced water surfaces. So yeah, there's a bit of stuff going on, right? But I think, look, the long and the short of it is there is a performance boost on the way. We can expect that. Is it going to double your FPS? I doubt it. Is it going to reduce the stutters? I think so. And I think that's what they're aiming for here. There's a handful of other kind of fixes and whatever else is there. Do you know? The stability was in memory and LOD changes on Xbox, and they're also working on some LOD stuff on the PC. And then in other news, the Airbus A320, the INI builds A320, that's going to get released as well. And based on the Neo, I believe, many of the external details are using decals to ensure there's no quality lost. In the cockpit, Cameron said, everything should operate as you would expect. One of the cooler details, he said, INI builds has included is that the engine will crank to cool itself down after a certain period of time. And some of the pictures we saw on the live stream, like, it's a fairly detailed cockpit. It's very hard now for me looking at another rendition of an A320, considering, you know, Phoenix, right? But it looks very, very nice. And the great news here, lads, this is going to be a default aircraft within the sim, both on PC and Xbox. So if you're on the Xbox, you know, the Phoenix is out of your reach. You're getting a much more in-depth simulation of an A320 on Xbox now, which could be pretty cool, right? Another functionality Cameron shared with us was movable windows, including accurate operations, accurate ground handling, and an onboard EFB. He also said that they have accurately modelled the fly-by-wire systems which kick in at 80 knots on the A320 Neo. They confirmed it should be coming with Sim Update 15, again slated on March 26th. We'll have to wait and see. Then in other news, when it came to the aircraft in general, ray tracing effects, they want to add them. They're currently investigating improving the current system, and it's a big change to make something like ray tracing. So not likely to come in the current sim, but they're working on it now. So I would expect that maybe next year or in the next sim. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see. The other big release, if you like, well, they've announced City Update 6, and it's going to focus in the southwest of Germany, including Mannheim, Heidelberg, Stuttgart, Essingen, Kiel, and Strasbourg. And it's pretty cool, right? So all these regions, typical after we just finished our Rome series, typical because we were flying up very close to these. Well, some of the details look very, very nice indeed. So there's another city update on the way, which is great. And then they announced this mad looking divil, the local legend, Dornier DO or DO 31. This thing is out of science fiction. It's mad looking because it features vertical takeoff and landing. So, local legend number 15, the Dornier DO 31, developed by Inibills. The aircraft is unique that there's only 2 airworthy ones in the world. It is an experimental jet. It's propelled by a jet with vertical takeoff and landing. It's a cargo aircraft that was designed for military use. Michael from Inibills did a quick demo of it on the stream, including a VTOL takeoff, and he said that it's a complex beast to fly. Words are hard tonight. So reading the manual is really beneficial. Isn't that mad looking? Do you see the absolute suffering state? It's just weird and wonderful, and I love that. Experimental aircraft, it's cool. The World Hub and VR, a user asked if they could add default library objects in order to the World Hub updates. Right now, the team wants to take small steps, and they'll expand on that over the coming years. And then Microsoft have worked with Bing to acquire new map data, which 250 terabytes of world data is going to be gone through. This raw data will be shared between Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and 2024. Now, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 also got a little mention here because they spoke about aircraft and developer announcements. So we saw on the trailer of a Vision Jet, right? And I'm sure a lot of you were probably thinking, why are they putting a Vision Jet? I mean, we already have a really good Vision Jet. Why are they wasting their time making another Vision Jet? Well, it turns out the Vision Jet that they have is from none other than FlightFX. I mean, if you already built a good one, there's no point doing it again, right? So the FlightFX Vision Jet will be a feature in Flight Sim 2024, an upgraded one or updated one or whatever way you want to call it. The level of quality of aircraft in Flight Sim 2024 is payware quality from great developers like FlightFX. That's what Jorg said. That's pretty cool. During the reveal of the Vision Jet, Jorg asked the community about whether they should pull the current version from the in-sim marketplace. He said he didn't want people buying it in September, only for a month later. Well, he didn't necessarily say a month later. He said after that. So October, lads. I think that's when they're going to release the Devil. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, in the last bit of news from the dev update this evening, Microsoft confirmed that they will be attending Flight Sim Expo 2024 in Las Vegas. They said they will have a chat about Flight Sim 2024 and other bits and pieces, right? So it's good news that they're still going to Flight Sim Expo. Do you know what I mean? My laptop turned off. Updates are a stupid thing. But anyway, this is good news that Microsoft will be attending Flight Sim 2024 as well. So it was an alright kind of a dev update. Nothing like wow. Anyone on Xbox, they're having pretty much not a great time when it comes to the Sim Update 15 betas that they're working on. There's a couple of issues there, but we're hoping it'll all be tidied up and working tickety-boo when they release it. Do you know what I mean? Now, moving over to the world of X-Plane. This is interesting. Short Final Design have announced San Jose for X-Plane 12. Short Final have made some cracking sceneries in X-Plane for many years. Short Final Design took to their Facebook page to announce their latest project, San Jose International Airport. It'll be the developer's third Californian scenery for X-Plane. So, whereas at Norman Mineta, San Jose International Airport is San Francisco Bay Area's second busiest airport and provides travelers with a direct connection to Silicon Valley. In addition, the airport is only 3 miles away from downtown San Jose. Now, some of the features. Accurately modeled terminals with interiors, highly detailed general aviation area featuring several hangars with interiors and animated doors, custom animated airport vehicles with FMOD sounds, custom animated jetways, detailed ground textures with weather effects, and also some 3D vegetation. This is great to see. Short Final, they make absolutely gorgeous stuff. Do you know? Oh yeah, someone got Edson in trouble about chase plane. They were like, yeah, we want the API for the cameras. And like, Edson didn't even ask it, and York was like, hi Edson. Brilliant. But yeah, look, this looks pretty impressive. Anyone who's on X-Plane, if you know who Short Final is, was it Mr. X, I think it started off with, and then became Short Final. This looks brilliant though. It looks stunning. And some of the features that we're starting to see, you know, go into X-Plane, hangar doors opening, all this sort of jazz, when you know where they're getting the ideas from. So it's great to see. So that's all we have on that there at the moment. They've announced that project. Now, say intentions. Well, this is a bit of an AI tool, very similar to kind of Beyond ATC, so far as, you know, you can push a button, talk, and then it'll talk back to you, right? There's differences, obviously, between the two products, not only in features, but also on the pricing. However, Say Intentions have added IFR support to their AI ATC, which is a fairly big thing. So 2024 appears to be a year ripe with ATC offerings, with Beyond ATC and Say Intentions releasing their versions of AI-based ATC solutions. So Say Intentions AI have released a YouTube video detailing the features that are currently available in the beta version. I'm currently running the beta. I've been messing around with it, and at times it's very, very good. I kind of draw a little bit of a line between what the AI stuff can do versus if you're doing stuff on VATSIM, because VATSIM is following a relatively strict, you know, rule book in terms of what do you say and how do you say it. The likes of Say Intentions, you can kind of just say roughly what it is you want to do. It figures it out. It knows, like, you know, you don't have to say following an exact script. It kind of figures out what you want to do, and it does a relatively good job at that. In terms of the accuracy going by the book, yeah, it has, in my opinion, it has a bit of a way to go yet, but who knows if they get there. Anyway, it's still work in progress. It's available for users to try it out. Currently priced at $29.95 per month. Per month, lads. This thing is $295 a year. Now you can argue the toss. Say Intentions is way more expensive than Beyond ATC. So it'll be a good rivalry to see kind of where they go. You know what I mean? If you do VATSIM turn off student mode, it'll enforce by the book. Ooh, flat fee pricing, great concept. Very living AI, no scripts. Yeah, I don't know, like it's with Beyond ATC, they've gone in and said, well, it's $30 for the basic one. This one, it's $30 a month. But yeah, I'm still kind of evaluating the one I have. What it does very well. The same with Beyond ATC when we had to go with that before. So yeah, they're coming along. Are they there yet? I don't know. Now, back to X-Plane. Various X-Plane Aerosoft airports have been updated to X-Plane 12. Right? Developer Fly Aggie contacted FS Elite to let them know that a number of their X-Plane 11 airports have been updated to be compatible with X-Plane 12. Such airports include Manchester, Madrid, Zurich, Paderborn, and so on. They also added new volumetric grass, revised the vegetation placement, and implemented new 3D forests. Nice. So these are the ones that are updated. Now, does it say, are these paid updates? The team also added volumetric grass. You can check out a range of X-Plane compatible airports over there. Some of the products are X-Plane 11 compatible with X-Plane 12. So it doesn't say if they're paid or not. But anyway, they've updated a number of these. And X-Plane 12 airport features standalone, fully customized for X-Plane 12 with revised lighting, revised ground, including PBO reflections, and so on and so forth. Uses X-Plane 12's new 3D vegetation for forests, full support for native X-Plane 12 seasons. X-Plane has seasons, revised autogen and ground traffic. Pretty cool. So yeah, keep your eye out. If you do have a number of X-Plane 11 Aerosoft airports, well, check out the ones from Fly Aggie, because they've gone off and updated a load of them. Do you know? Now, this weekend, before we get on the bandwagon for Flight Sim Expo, well, Flight Sim Weekend is due to kick off this weekend. Navigraph, Fly-by-Wire, X-Plane, Tolus, and more will be present at FS Weekend 2024. So, as FS Elite, one of the key media partners to Europe's largest flight sim in-person event, well, they're going to bring us all the news and interviews directly from the show floor between the 16th and 17th of March. That's this weekend. Be interesting to hear if there's going to be any announcements or reveals or whatever else. The plan is FS Elite will do a live stream from the theatre during the whole weekend, meaning we are able to watch the announcements as they happen, which is pretty cool. So that's all available over on the FS Weekend 2024 hub. All right. So the theatre schedule, well, X-Plane are going to be having a chat, fly-by-wire, development showcase of upcoming products. We're hoping to see maybe the A380 there, right? Moby Flight will be there, Pro Sim. And then on Sunday, FS Elite have a live discussion. Flight Sim Coach will be there. Tolis are going to be there. And again, live A32NX with full VATSIM coverage. So that should be pretty cool. So keep your eye on FS Elite over the weekend. Callum and the lads are going to be there, so it'll be interesting. Now, speaking of VATSIM, well, VATSIM events, what's happening over the next couple of days? And we're heavily involved with our ATC course at the moment. And Monday night was a lot of fun. So in the meantime, if anyone would like to just jump in and listen on VATSIM, just to observe kind of what goes on, well, I must point you out to a VATSIM First Wings event happening this Saturday. Now, these First Wings events, they are designed for new pilots flying on the VATSIM network. So the controllers tend to be very flexible and very helpful. So there's one happening here in Cordoba, and the Argentinian ATC will be online from about kind of 10 o'clock till midnight. And if you want to ramble over there, make sure you're set up on observer only mode and you get to listen in. You might even want to take part. So that's happening late on Saturday night. So do be sure to check it out. And then finally, a quick update on the FireFly Air stats console to see how everyone is getting on with all of their all their XP, right? So we can see here briefly, Sean's Premiership, League One, right? Well, it's actually not League One, it's Sean's Premiership. Man, Murph. Viper Strike has just burst himself into the lead. Sean Dale in second, Paparazzi doing well, MDA and Devil Dude, the top five. League One, we can see Soaring AJ, Scorpio, See You Later, Dakey and Gibbo Ireland bursting through the ranks. League Two, we have Kim Sneed, Reckless Ray, Nighthawk, Rambog Mord and Musefan jumping ahead. In League 3, we have Sterling Moss, Kaharia, Canoehead 2, Blue Knight, and Zard in the top 5. And the League 4 Road to Glory, we have Hot Pants on Fire, Crusher, obviously Nix, Francis, and well, I'm there. I don't know why I'm there. I'm aiming for the Skoda conference. But in the Skoda conference, then we have Milos, Revan the Elk, Bocelli, Larger Life, and Aaron. So these are the leaderboards that we have for our virtual airline. Whenever you go flying and you're connected to LRM or you're doing the PIREP reports, well, this is where your points go and we build them into league tables. It's pretty cool. It's quite competitive and it's great to see so many people and like the sheer amount of XP being generated by everyone. It's quite incredible. So well done there, lads. Absolutely brilliant stuff, right? So welcome to the world of the sim, and now we're going to give you a quick preview of an upcoming aircraft from SC Designs. This is the F-5E Tiger 2. Now, we are aware of other F5 Tigers in the sim, but we thought we'd have a look at this one here this evening, right? So what do we know about the aircraft? Well, crew was one. Let me see. Internal fuel power plant. There was two General Electric J85GE21 afterburning turbojet engines. They provide 3,500 pounds of thrust each. Maximum speed of this aircraft, Mach 1.63. That's fairly lively. Maximum cruise speed, Mach 0.98. That's about 650 miles an hour, by the way. Economical cruise speed is around 850 knots. Jesus. Now we see. Range, 481 nautical miles. Combat radius with 20-minute reserve, about 120 nautical miles. Ferry range, 2,000 nautical miles. Right? Service ceiling, 51,000 feet. Or service ceiling with one engine, 41,000 feet. Extremely powerful airplane. Rate of climb, 34,500 feet per minute. That's 175 meters a second. Lift to drag ratio is 10 to 1. And it's a very interesting aircraft. One of the most famous aircraft in the world, with a service life that has now exceeded 60 years. Originally developed as an advanced trainer, the airplane was eventually adapted for use in a multitude of roles. So, the livery I have this divil in, well, this is, it's used this in Top Gun, the original Top Gun, right? And it played the part of what was to be a MiG-28. And I have to say, it looked pretty cool, right? I mean, they're a cool looking jet. They just are. They're a nice looking jet. So what I'm going to try and do here, you know, without making a complete and utter idiot of myself, well, I want to hop in and see, can I actually fly it, right? It's not a review. The aircraft is in a state of pre-release, right? So if you do see kind of anything mad, wonderful or weird, well, you know, this is not a full representation of the final product. But it looks to be pretty much there, like, do you know what I mean? Some of the textures on it look really, really nice, particularly at the back of the aircraft where our afterburners come out. These look very nice and pretty, I have to say. There's lovely detailing there, nice reflections, the use of PBR, all that jazz is what it should be. And as we can see as well, we do have ordnance on the aircraft, which look the part. You can add them in, very similar to what you would get with your DC designs, right? You add in the weight, and there's some nice detailing on them as well. Guidance control section. Jesus, couldn't tell you one thing about it, but I do know it looks dangerous. Do you know? Details towards the main landing gear and the tires. It's okay. It's efficient, I think. There's nothing kind of out of place that I've seen. Nothing looks weird or, you know, it doesn't belong there. At least on my initial inspections. I think the model work here is pretty decent. And, well, the model work is actually excellent. The texture work here is pretty decent. And there's a number of liveries that the aircraft will ship with. But, like, there is no mistake in the model work. That is an F5. Like, it's just an F5. Do you know what I mean? Did I see Wombat come in? I did. Wombio was here as well. Good to see you. Norway had a total of 216 F5s. What? That's crazy. So there's some nice details here as well. I think Nova Wing worked on some of these liveries. So there's a bit of detail in it as well. I'm impressed. Considering that SE Design's first aircraft was, of course, the F-16, there's detail on this, lads. You know what I mean? So that's the exterior. So we're going to jump inside here now into the interior and to see, can we get ourselves, you know, well, what's happening. So inside the cockpit, well, we can see there's some nice textures. There's plenty of wear and tear, and there's nice texturing on the main controls, on the pedals we can see down here. There's nice textures. It's a used aircraft. These things aren't brand new off the factory line. Do you know what I mean? So some cockpit familiarization. So let's start over here on the left-hand side. The circuit breakers are not modeled, it is what it is.
Hello there.
So we do have a number of other switches, including all our trim control, yaw dampeners. We have kind of, we have our engine throttles here. We have our flaps in here in the corner. DJ, good to see you. You're very welcome aboard. Rain control, you have your nose strut. What else do we have? Rain removal and nose strut extraction. Cool. Come down here now a little bit. So we can see that we have our armament positions. This is to do with all your ordnance. You're underneath the wings. That's where they go. Ignition systems are here. Engine start, landing light switch. We'll need all that now in a moment when we try to power it up. So this is effectively kind of your weapon stores, your munition stores area of the aircraft. Moving across then, it's beautiful layout here. So we have airspeed indicator. You have vertical speed. There's a vertical velocity if it's military. Would that be right? Hey, Captain Sickbag is here. Good to see you. What else do we have? Altimeter is there. A drag chute, which operates. It's fully functional. A chrono, your G meter, engine, instruments, and so on. Everything's clear. Everything's crisp. You can see everything, which is important, right? It is important. Moving down the way then, we have some of the booster pumps for the fuel. We have our cabin temperature and pressures, anti-ice is here as well. We have our oxygen systems. We have our electrical panel, which will go ahead now and turn on the main battery. And we have some sounds.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
What else do we have here now? Moving down the side, we have our transponder. We have some lights inside the cockpit, which all look the part. Formation lights as well. Go ahead and turn those on. Beacon light we can turn on. And lighting we can have set to kind of dim or not dim. Very, very interesting. Now, I wonder what I did there. Did I, like, inadvertently turn on some stuff? I think I did. I think I did, lads. Mission is interesting. Fuel shut-off valves. Okay, leave them in the open position. We're going to need those, right? Now, sounds. I just want to verify the sounds on this. Let's have a look at some of the features. Now, checklists I think are completed here as well. I think I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, so we have our stuff here. So before starting the engine, canopy is open, landing gear in the down position, parking brake is on. There's no lever in the cockpit, but we can visually verify that on our controls. Nice. Starting the engine, DC power ready, generator switch on, strobe lights on. Our CADC is on. We'll put that to on. Ignition switches need to go on.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Engine master switches need to go on. I think they're on, lads. We'll find out now in a second. Engine starter switch. Mechanical Madness is here. Good to see you. Welcome in. And Captain Sickbag has just subscribed with a tier 2. Dude, thank you very, very much indeed. Now let's have a look here. So our left engine's coming up. So there are sounds happening. Now engine master and engine starter. Engine 50% or higher. Well, we can hear spinach. I wonder are they in the on or off? Hang on now. Right, there's one up. And we repeat now with the other side. Engine 2 oil pressure is rising. Radar mode as required. We'll have to play with that one now here in a sec. So radar, standby operation or test. We'll put it into operation mode to see what happens. Mechanical, hope you're well, man. Now let's have a look. RPM is rising. Looks great so far. Gun sight reticule as required. We can turn that on. And you can actually adjust the depression of that as well. It's to do with like aiming and stuff. Now reset my barrel. Temps and pressures, yes, nav frequency as required. So here's our nav control. Yaw dampener, pitch and yaw. Rudder trim, that's all okay. Comms frequency as required. TACAN frequency as required. And that all works, by the way. The TACAN works on this, which is pretty cool, right? Okay, well, we're hoping the engines are grand now. Taxi, canopy closed. Obtain taxi clearance. Nose wheel steering set to high. Where are you living? You're there. Okay. So close the canopy. I think that's kind of the view it wants us in, is it? Park and brake, maximum speed for taxiing is going to be 10 knots. Takeoff. Oleo extension if required. So no strut. Let's have a look. Extract or retract? Okay, that works as well. That's pretty cool. Right, let's see what happens, right? Let's hope everything's okay, lads. Landing lights on. Stores, they're okay. Oxygen normal. Up you devil. Park and brake, gens are on. Oxygen is on, flow is moving, that's good. Normal. What else do we have here now? Codes, transponder stuff, that's all okay. All our lights are on, exterior lights are looking good. Console lights, we can bring these up. Let's check out the nighttime lighting, lads, will we? So we'll bring these guys up. Got a fancy radar here. Let's make it nighttime. Ooh, yes. Very green, isn't it? And we can mess with these. We can, you know, you can adjust all your lighting here. Engine instruments, formation lights, cockpit, floodlight, bring it down. Yes. What do you think of the lighting in this? It's nice, isn't it? It is nice. Exterior lighting, very powerful. Nice strobes here towards the back. We have our nav lights. And we have our landing lights on here at the front as well. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Okay. Let's check it out for a bit of a jaunt here and we see what happens. This will either be great or very great, right? Alright, let's see what happens. So we have nose wheel steering is on, which is quite bumpy. Flaps are set to auto. You have an arrestor hook. Flaps up, flaps auto, flaps. What's this next one up? Let's have a look. They're full, fixed. Okay. So we'll put our flaps to auto. Arrestor hook. Let's have a look. Hey, the little arrestor hook works. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And bring that back in. Is this the updated Blériot? Yes, yes it is. Auto balance. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff happening here. Where's smoke generator on? It's alright lads, I had the smoke generator turned on there for a second. You know, just letting them know I'm taking off.
Hello there.
Hello there, welcome in. Yeah, she was a bit smoky there, yeah. We're gone now though. Right, let's see what this thing can do. Remember the last time I crashed on takeoff? Let's hope this doesn't happen. Let me see, panel light. It's a nice kind of a spot. Nice space. Right, power coming in. 80%. 90%. Military power. Have a listen outside. She's loud. Off the brakes and let's punch it. Afterburners engaged. Let's see what happens. Speed alive. Yep, see daisy. Pause, ready to climb. Gear up. Flaps up. Whoo, she can move. This thing can move. Alright, bring the power back a bit. And we'll roll to the left. There's 3,000 feet. Look at that sight. Like, it's a very basic laser pointer onto that little kind of hood shield, isn't it? This thing can move. We're approaching 300 knots, passing 4,000 feet. Oh man, this is nice. Okay, let's straighten up here for a minute. And let's just see kind of how it handles, right? So it is sensitive, it is twitchy. That's what you want. That's what you'd expect from a fighter of this kind of neck of the woods. This is the F-5E Tiger II. Very gentle roll. Well, I say gentle. It is very maneuverable. It's about 350 knots. Fuel flow definitely moving. Let's ramble on over this direction. There's great details in it. Performance-wise as well, this is very good. And again, like, it's the dials are very clear. Like, that's an advantage you have. You can see friggin' everything. Like, that's what you need. You know what I mean? Ah, lads. Look at the state of it. It's cool looking, isn't it? Nice sounds. Very nice. The mirrors showing reflections. Well, they kind of they show off this like kind of very low resolution kind of reflection. It gets an idea. It is some sort of a shiny surface, but it's not giving you the real deal. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll have a bit of fun with this. Like, it's a champ at speed. We're not even at full power, right? So let's climb her up. And let's see what happens from here, look. Look at that. How's it like low speed? Not a lot. Man Murphy, you just stalled it. Right, don't panic, lads. Let's see if the aircraft can recover. No, it's not like this at all. Straighten it up. Apply some power. That's why I'm not allowed nice things. So let the speed regain. And we'll try and out-loop then, right? But there were characteristics on the real aircraft, like crazy stuff, like the amount of G's this thing could pull, the roll rate especially. Right, let's see what we can do. We're probably too fast now, but let's have a look. So we're trying to do a loop with the burners. Why not? It doesn't like it. There's also no pilot appearing. Your avatar doesn't seem to appear inside the cockpit just yet. But again, as I said, this is still work in progress, lads. You know what I mean? Let's ramble over this way. The old flight dynamics. Jules, good to see you. You need to have someone fly upside down on F-14. Do you know what I mean? Does it have an autopilot? Yes, I think it does. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So pull to adjust. Don't worry about all of those. What's this? Channel. ADF TAC on nav. So put it on over there. So that's our radio stuff. Don't see autopilot. Not over there. Yaw dampener. That's interesting. No, it doesn't appear to have an autopilot. Now, if it doesn't have an autopilot and you have something like Flow, I imagine Flow could bypass this. No autopilot modelled on this aircraft. Now maybe there will be. I'll need to check with the developers, lads. Because it is sort of reacting to my autopilot inputs. No autopilot, it's a trainer. There you go. Just trim it out, yeah. So we'll try a bit of trim here now, right? Checklist, weight and balance. Like it comes with a full manual of what it can and what it can't do. Let's see here now. Flown correctly, the F-5 is a highly capable dogfighter. Ooh. Checklist, weight and balance. The F-5 Tiger II had a switch to the left of the throttles, which extended the nose gear for takeoff. The reason for this was to provide extra lift due to the small size and high wing loading. To actually extend the main landing gear, and that is modelled. We played with that. The switch must be manually retracted after takeoff to ensure gear retraction due to limitations within the sim. We're looking good. We're hoping to refine this function over time, but for now it should be considered merely for aesthetics rather than functional as a lift generating device. Okay. So it contains only the same basic navigation and communication avionics as the real aircraft does. UHF comms are available, while VOR navigation is controlled via the selector mode for the nav, megahertz and kilohertz control on the pilot's left hand side. TACAN is used below the radio beneath the radar. There is no approach mode or ILS available on the aircraft, nor a GPS or autopilot, although it may be possible to assign controls via the sim's own menu. In the same way, there's no parking brake on the F-5 Tiger. However, Slaving the park and brake command to a control will allow you to apply it. Okay. So, I imagine if you have kind of buttons there for it, it should be, you know what I mean? It's a very impressive looking airplane though, isn't it? And as I said, it's like extremely maneuverable. Look at this. Probably too much so. Let's have a look here now. Oh, yeah, threshing. Yes, I think something like this will work. And we'll just kind of check it out and see what happens. Are we ready? That doesn't work at all. This one will. Yes. I muted myself. What do you think? Do you like it? So it's an early look at an upcoming release. It's still in development by SC Designs. It's being released by Just Flight. And it's, yeah, I mean, look, it's for the price point. The model work is absolutely beautiful. I think we can all agree that sight right there, man, I mean, that's beautiful, right? It's really, really nice. And there is a good level of systems in the aircraft. Everything is very clear to see. You know what I mean? This looks pretty nice, right? It looks pretty nice. Now you might be saying to yourself, Jesus, Murph, what's going on with all the stuff? You know, did you see the stuff? You see that stuff? Ooh, he said, and you know, right. But we're going to be checking this stuff out here now in a second with all the ooh and the ah stuff that you can see on your screen, right? Because it looks absolutely amazing. the simulator is just now alive with stuff happening. And I'm looking straight away, of course, at contrails. And these are being generated by an upcoming product from Parallel 42, and it's going to be called SimFX. And now, this is, again, pre-release. It's not out yet. So if you do see anything kind of weird or wonderful, but don't worry. But I have to say, I'm going to go down through some of the options on it here now, because it looks absolutely gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. Now, it'd be interesting if I... Never tried that. If I pause that, did I still move to do? Right, perfect. So, we'll leave the plane there for the moment. It's done a great job, isn't it? And we'll go to this view. Here we go. Right, we're looking good. So, in this screen here, you'll notice, lads, do you see stuff in the sky? Do you see stuff in the sky? Isn't it pretty? This is pretty, right? So, well, there's stuff happening here. And the stuff that you're seeing is being generated from a program from Parallel 42, right? It is gorgeous, isn't it? The coffee is brewing. So, like, just to give you an idea, lads, I mean, it's only when you kind of realize what was missing in your sim environment that you say, holy crap, look, I was missing that. You know what I mean? And the pretty cool thing here is the contrails generated are actually following either your AI traffic or the injected traffic from the sim. Not only that, we have options there to do the same for multiplayer aircraft as well, right? So Edson is here in the chat with us, and we're going to be taking a bit of a deeper delve at what this add-on is going to be, right? And I have a ton of notes here, ton of notes. But I wanted to just show you a couple of things of what you might be able to expect, right? So, SimFX, it's a visual effects add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. In fact, this product contains the core code for the future individual handcrafted immersion packs. So expect to see specifically made packages for specific aircraft to come down the line that will be of the highest caliber. For reference, do you remember the visual or the immersive packs for the 737, the A320 back in the world of P3D? Right, that's what we're looking at, okay? So we have a couple of options here. I'm mainly showing you off contrails now, but what's the best way to well, we can have a look through all the things, right? Because there's a number of different effects and just visual coolness that goes on in this, right? So there's a full menu, right? There's a full UI, and we can, you know, start going through it, right? So you have options here, lads, with SimFX, all right? And we can see now it's detected in the aircraft menu here. It has already detected the aircraft that I'm flying. So the add-on knows, hey, oh, you're in this airplane? Cool, I got you, right? So to have contrails, it says, well, the requirements are going to be engines are on, high altitude, high humidity, cold temperature. Contrails are short for condensation trails. They're long, thin clouds produced by aircraft at high altitude due to the condensation of water vapor in the exhaust. With Parallel 42 immersion, they are dynamically generated, varying in appearance based on factors like altitude, temperature, and humidity. And we can see what's happening up there, look. So it's not just, you know, a line kind of plastered into the sky. The thing is very much alive, and it's, you know, it's reading the data of what should be happening. And it's mad looking. You can see them there. And as you look at these contrails, it depends on your setting, right? But the things start off very kind of clear, sharp, and small, but they expand through the air, just as they do in the real world, as they go across, right? And you've all different settings here. There's a whole load of controls when it comes to this sort of jazz here as well. And we'll have a look at these now shortly, right? So I didn't know Murph was a paid actor. Everyone knows TIT stands for chemtrail. Chemical trail, yeah. So look, we have here our own contrails from the engines. They can be a couple of settings. So with Parallel 42, you have the SimFX version. We can turn them off, or you can have the default, what Microsoft gives us. So we have a couple of options when we turn on the SimFX engine, right? We can adjust our quality. And there's some important points to note on this. You have dynamic, and it's dynamic. It's adjusting, constantly looking and reading what's going on. Or we can put it into low quality, medium quality, or high quality. If you put it in dynamic, you guys are aware of, you know, these auto FPS plugins and all that. This is it. This is it. They're using actual code to be able to adjust what the sim is doing based on what sort of a visual experience you want from this add-on. It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. Got to be smart about your sim resources. We can take them all and give you massive 3D contrails for hundreds of miles, but you don't want us doing that. Well, that's the thing, right? Say, for example, you know, on our group flight, if we all decide to go on airliners and there's, you know, 20, 30, 40 of us flying along in the sky, and, you know, we need the control to say, whoa, whoa, turn that down, or, you know, whoa, bring it up a little bit. And you can see, I mean, look, as I'm just sitting here at the sky, all these aircraft are being generated in the sim from Just Flight's FS traffic. SimFX can see these aircraft. They're not just drawing lines. There's an actual aircraft. It's detecting all the aircraft and it's drawing the FX onto these aircraft. It's nuts. It's nuts, right? Now, we also have options here. Look at this. The length. It can be long, short, medium. I want them long because I'm going for, let's punch it. The spread. You can adjust the spread to wide, very wide, narrow, medium, or wide. Let's go very wide. And then the density. Low, medium, or high. Now, if you're asking what sort of FPS hit do I get from FS traffic? Not much, Sterling, not much. So these are all the options we have for the contrails. And then we have other stuff in here as well, right? So we'll get down through it. These are your aircraft specific visual effects. So we have heat blurs. So the requirements, well, they vary per aircraft and effect. Visual distortion caused by hot air emitted from an aircraft's APU or other heat generating features. On some aircraft, engine heat blur may be detected as miscellaneous. With parallel 42 immersion, they are dynamically generated, varying in appearance based on factors like the amount of thrust produced and also the ambient air temperature. There's more scratching the head, right? So, okay. The heat blur, and we know that Microsoft have their own default heat blur. You can put on the default and you'll see the wavy lines and it looks pretty good. However, when you put on the SimFX version, we have a whole load of options. For instance, we can turn the quality, again, I like it in dynamic, that's just for me, but you have the options to have them on high or low. The temperature, you can adjust the temperature, meaning how much of this stuff you're going to get. The scale of the blur itself, right? You can change all of these if you wish. Then they have the wind impact, meaning that the wind will actually move the divel around. It's nuts, right? And then when is it visible? Outside only or from all views? Now you might be saying, well, why do you want to see it from all views? Think of the TBM and that PT6 engine. You can see the exhausts and they tend to run right beside the pilot's window. That's the idea. You'll have them in all views, right? So if I jump back to my little hairy plane here, look, I wonder will it pick up the heat blur behind it? Give it a second to kind of cool out and chill out. Now it's probably because I have this running and yeah, hang on, maybe we need to unpause it. So we do have a bit of a heat blur there, right? I just want to get my trim set up right. So you can see already the heat blur, yeah? It'll probably be easier to do this part on the ground, but you get the idea, right? So we have a heat blur coming off the back of the aircraft. But for the first time, you'll notice it's not perfectly straight. It's moving because well, the wind is hitting off the divel, right? So if we leave him up there for the minute and we bring back up our menu, let's have a look and let's see what we can change, right? So there's the gadget here now for the heat blur. So we can say, right, temperature very high, low, so it's almost gone, medium, high, or very high. They're very subtle changes here, but that's kind of what we're after, right? So we'll see, can I put them in such a way you can actually see that blur? You should be able to see from there, right? The scale, small, medium, large, or very large. The wind, if I turn off the wind impact, when I move back to this heat blur, well, it's not going to move, look, right? It's just not going to move. You see the heat blur there, look. It's stuck on the back of the aircraft, it doesn't move. Turn on the wind, and the thing starts moving around. And then visible, where do you want the thing visible? Inside or outside only? So it's cool what it's doing. It's just, it works. Do you know what I mean? Now, can we pause it there for a second? We continue on with what we're looking at. So that's the heat blur, right? Now you have this other mad stuff. Thrust on rain. Ideally, I want to go back. Actually, I will, lads. I will go back to a parked position because you need to see this stuff. If I just hit restart here, right? Because there's other options. And again, this is the base package. It's a base package. And we'll get through some of the Q&A here now in a moment. But with a base package, this will apply to pretty much everything. Parallel 42 are going to do bespoke packages for specific aircraft. So they might say, for instance, here's the 737 package. Here's the A320 package. You know, here's whatever. That's what they'll work on, right? So we'll see what the crack is here now. I just want to have a quick gawk at this. Right, there's my little hairy plane, right? And we're on the runway because I spawned in on the runway because I'm in Egypt. Get out of that view. Hello? Okay, so...
Hello there.
Hang on now, lads. Let's see. Interesting. My views aren't working and my game is frozen. Hang on a second. How do we get out of this mess? When all else fails, we'll start it again. Let me see. Jamie Conn, good to see you. Very welcome aboard, man. I think you're in slew. Do you know what? I was probably in slew. Grand. I'll fix that. I'll unslew it here now in a second when it restarts. On the runway, because I'm in Egypt. Waiting to see this. The sim will crash. To be fair, I'm probably due a good old sim crash. Oh no, it worked.
Can I get a refund?
Oh no, it worked! Right. There's no refunds. Yeah, I was in slew mode. Ah, brilliant. Right. let's just shh. Right. Okay. That's better. Now we can see.
Dude, have you been drinking? I have, Ted. I've been drinking like a mad idiot.
Oh, look, the pilot appeared. So remember I said the avatar wasn't there? The avatar just said, right, he'll join you, so. Brilliant. Right, okay. So what I want to do...
big idiot.
Listen, you know the crack. Right, let's get in here and mess a little bit. Let's do something like this. Yes. And...
they've done studies, you know.
One of them.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Right? So let's have a look at some of the other features, shall we? So that was the contrail stuff we were looking at. And now I want to go down to the wheels. So, was it wheels or thrust? Heat blur, wheels on rain, and then we have wheels on dirt.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
You just will. You just will. Vulcan would be good for this, wouldn't it be? It'd be just nuts. Environment. We'll go to that now in a second. Where's me thrust gone? Anyway, okay. So the wheels moving. Wheels on rain, wheels on dirt. Right? And then we have wings. Ground effect wash. So rain, snow, or volatile surfaces. High angle of attack. Ground proximity. The ground effects or effect wash refers to the visual effect of water or dirt being kicked up from the ground by the downforce of the wings. Right? Yeah, it came up there a second ago though. That was odd. Yeah, we'll change the airplane. How's that? Go back to the main menu. Just in case, because it's missing features there. And to be fair, the SC Designs aircraft, it's not released yet, so there could be things in the background needing to be tidied up. So I'll quickly swap out the aircraft. What would be a good one to test here now? Something with propellers, maybe. Edson, have you tried it with the DC-6? Dare you to jump at the PMDG? I can, but like the 7.3 or the DC-6? Spitfire? A Mooney? What the Mooney? Could you imagine the Mooney? DC-6 or 7.3? Let's answer that for them. You going DC-6 or 7.3? It'll work in any aircraft. That's the amazing thing here. Do you know what I mean? Shorts. Anything parallel 42 is quality. It just is. It just is. Where are we at? We'll go through all the details here now in a second. We go 7.3. You can go 7.3, right? Look at that. Look at the state of that for a livery, right? Let's see if I start the runway, what'll happen. This could be hilarious, right? Where's this now? Dublin, runway 28. Let's see if it works, right? Would take an hour to get the Mooney out of the very, 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 very back of the hangar. Probably. Probably, right? Now, so a couple of details while the sim is loading up, right? So you have some questions. An important note about this bit of software is, right? SimFX will be required for future immersion packs. It contains the essential code that immersion will rely on. So the base pack is what we're looking at today. And then as Parallel 42 said, they'll add kind of these bespoke add-ons or immersion packs for specific aircraft. When is it out? Well, Parallel 42 don't tease things for years. They just don't. However, we can assume it won't be long now. The official answer from Parallel 42, when it's ready, is when they will release it. But as you're going to see here now in a little while, it looks pretty all right to us. Do you know what I mean? Now, you might be asking about the pricing. Let's have a look at some of the other features before we talk about the price. That'll just really wreck your head for a minute. Do you know? Can I see this on multiplayer though? The answer? Yes. Primary effects such as contrails and dust will show on multiplayer friends aircraft. That's pretty cool, right? This might take a minute to load. Are the contrails fake? No, it's real traffic up there. Bound to multiplayer aircraft or your AI choice. FSTL, the default in the sim, you know, just flights. It's all there and it'll work, right? Ah, brilliant. Here's me Boeing 737, which has been like absolutely parked to the side because I've been all up in the A320. Right, let's see here now. Don't mind me for the minute. Really? I'm having a night of it, lads. You'd swear that's something that's not activated, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's shagged. Let's do a quick restart. Let's see. Does the effects contain wing vortices from flaps and wing condensation on climb? So look, those type of effects are hyper-specific to airframes based on their designs. A general FX package like SimFX won't cover them, but the immersion packs do. Ooh, nice. It's the perfect add-on for Murph. It'll make the dramatic landing look even more dramatic. It will. It absolutely will. And the fact you're getting contrails in it. Now, I don't know what's happening here. I might have to pick a different aircraft because this ain't playing nice. I can't. Anyone get this problem before with the 7.3? It's like an activation issue because I noticed that the PMDG stuff had to be updated the other day.
You haven't a clue what you're doing.
Stupid thing. Right. Yeah, we're not going with the 7.3. It's shagged. I'll try hitting it. Murph, I just did too. Same issue, but it's on. Really? Okay. Let's pick something else. Something that like doesn't require. Let me see. Be a good joke here. We could say the F-14, but we already showed the jet. I want to show something that has a bit of oomph behind it. You know what I mean? Just go with the Phoenix. Does it work in the Phoenix, Edson? Please say yes. Over Mullingar. What are you doing in Mullingar, Murphy? Yeah. Roll the dice. It'd be grand. You can do it in the DC. It'll work in anything. That's the beauty of all this. But just bear with me now as I intentionally delay while I'm waiting for the sim to load. But we'll be grand. You need to see what this will do. And then we need to power up the Phoenix. Isn't there like a quick way to like do a quick start? I think there is. Signing into your account. Thank you, Phoenix. Now, where's this? So if you have an aircraft that already has visual effects and you don't want to use those instead, well, Parallel 42 ones are just better optimized, right? You can disable the effects that you don't want directly in SimFX. You can disable what you want to see and what you don't want to see. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of options here with this. As a troll, it won't work on the 7742. The sim is being very nice, isn't it? Is it working now? No, we just got a sim crash. See, we knew there was something not right and not well in the realm. Stupid thing. Right, we'll start it all up again. Jesus, lads. The sim crashed. We should have known there was something not right. 290 aircraft. What would I fly today? Oh, the sim crashed. What'd you do? Where are we at now? Right, this will load up, and then it'll tell us. It looks like your sim crashed. Did someone else get an issue tonight? Microsoft just released an update. Can we blame them on that? Try hitting it harder? Yeah. Never happened before. Are we unslewed yet? My sim has been crashing a lot lately when loading into a FlightSim Muse fan. See, you ruined it by saying it was being nice. Yes, I agree, Hummingbird. There's just been an update tonight. 900 megabytes, and they said like it's only for fixing water masks. So the question there is it going to come to Xbox? Yes. It will be coming out on Xbox too. Just be aware, though, of the limitations with the ecosystem. It's a highly optimized, but in Sim Update 15, the Series S can't even load a single tent without getting blurry textures. And we do hope they're fixing that. They kind of announced that tonight, that they're working on it. So, yeah. Full Bandit is having trouble after the update as well. Ooh, all of my sim settings were reset. Oh no! How does it do that? It does it to some and not to everyone. I have no idea what the story is. None whatsoever. Sure, listen. We'll wait and see, right? Checking for updates. Come on, Sim. Primo Victoria, good to see you. Murph, did you see the new livery for the 152? It's the pink missing texture livery called Troll. This is hilarious. Every time the sim works really well, and now it's like, no, not playing. Right, now it's working. It's so slow getting into this, isn't it? Jesus. Well, at least we can say it doesn't just happen to us. Or to me. Do you know? Oh, right, let the sim load up. What else can we see here now? So we have some information. So some of the effects that we have, right? Contrails, wheel contact in the rain, wheel contact in the dirt, landing tire smoke, heat blur effects, wheel skid marks, ground effect wash, engine
They've
smoke.
done studies, you know.
Engine thrust
60%
wash.
of the time, it works
Every time.
every time.
Engine thrust dirt, heli rotor wash on water or dirt. These are all the effects it'll kick up. Traffic multiplayer rotor wash, traffic multiplayer and AI extended
So look at this big Aegis.
And there's something else cool I need to show you here now in a second, right? There's loads of cool stuff. You need to see it. And a lot of these things are available on default aircraft and also third-party aircraft. There's a lot of stuff available, right? I'm not going to touch the sim. It's doing its thing, and just leave it be here now for a minute. It will load. I'm sure of it. It's moving. Oh, I need to figure out now what the update actually contained. That was a fairly beefy, like a couple of 100 megabytes. You know what I mean? There's got to be more than just water masking. Anyway, I honestly don't get too many CTDs. Just when loading in the A300, that's about it. No, not in the beta, Curly. No. I'll have to check my settings now. Yeah, do. The sim knows you're live. That's exactly what it is. Don't jinx it now, Murph. It's grand, lads. It work. Are there any water effects? Yes. Shipper sure does keep us calm. At least we know it's working. You'd be sitting there going, did that blue thing move at all? I think it didn't. But now we can see the numbers are now rattling upwards. Right? You know what I mean? So how have you been? Good to have something nice to look at. Edson, would you go out of that? Oh, the screen. Yeah. Oh, we're in. Brilliant. Right. Let's not make that mistake again. We're going with the A320. Why not? And we're going to try and load in again and see what happens. Are we ready? Don't press anything. Sit in your hands. Don't even look at the screen. And we'll see what happens, right? Now, I won a Learjet yesterday. What? No way. If the effects cost X, what percentage of that X would be a pack for a plane, says Airlock? That's a very good question. Let's have a look at a few more features and then I have the price here. Stay stum about the price, do you know? It said strictly water masking for the Caribbean update. Yeah, 900 megabytes of it though. You know what I mean? Caleb, good to see you. Right, lads. Only positive waves. Positive. Ah, brilliant. It worked. Right. Who had doubts? Oh, Jesus. Right, we're in the Phoenix at night time. I need to fix everything. Daytime. Brilliant. Right, come down here now, Nora. Phoenix. Sim setting. No. Panel states. Yes. Ready. Active. Here's one I made earlier. Right, what are we going to... Oh, yeah, we need to do some stuff. Right, so the weather. Time of day, make it interesting. Now, let's have a look at the weather, right? For your faja. So the weather. Ah, sure, Jesus, brilliant. Now, make it rain like... Right, now it's raining, right? Oh, yes. Now, up here. Get all my lights on like a devil. Yeah. Right, my lights are on. Ah, brilliant. Right, okay. So we have lights, right? Bad weather, yeah. Right. Okay, so here we go with our beautiful Phoenix in our flagship colours for FireFly Air. And we'll open up the gadget. Are we ready? Engine heat blurs. Miscellaneous heat blur. Thrust on rain. Miscellaneous heat blur. So other surfaces, that could be your APU in this regard, yeah? So let me see. Thrust on rain. SimFX and have it on dynamic. What does it mean by that? Let's have a look at it, shall we? Are we sitting comfortably? Now, we can kind of see, for those with like, you know, sniper vision, you can kind of see what's happening. Check this out, right? Are we ready? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Can you see that? We're getting... Give us full power there. We'll hold the brakes. So we're getting visual effects from the engines on maximum thrust. Look at the state of that view, look. You see that? That's absolutely nuts. Isn't that amazing? How much money did Airbus invent in their park and brake? Look at the state of that. That's reacting to the thrust that I'm applying to the aircraft, right? So let's kill the thrust. Right? Isn't it amazing how something so simple? Now let's see, can we get a proper view on this? Well, that's not bad, but we should get... That's not... Actually, that's a pretty good view there. Let's hide my mug here for a minute. Right, lads, let us just witness this. Okay, the runway's getting dry now, but we'll make it terribly wet now in a second. So from this view, right, from this view, let's see what else we can do. So make it rain in there again, Murph. Now, our options here. So that was the thrust, okay? Now we have ground effect wash. We should also have rain on the ground, I think. I think we have. So let's have a look here. Ground effect wash. Ground effect wash refers to the visual effect of water being kicked up from the ground by the downforce of the wings. So let's check out this one. We'll get a view here. I might do it here. Let's see what happens. Sort it. Sort it. That's ridiculous. Hang on, we'll park her back on the ground here again. Like, it just does, lads. It takes the immersion to the next level, you know what I mean? Right, so my airplane once again, bit of control here. And now we'll get rid of some of that cloud. Right, now we're kind of talking, right? So we have a view here. We'll go to this view. This view here, Murph. Right. Bring ourselves all the way back and we'll go full power and have a look and see what happens. Are we ready? Right, let's see what happens here. Come on, Betsy. How cool is that? Like, it's absolutely incredible. It's unreal, isn't it? Higher angle of attack to see the effects. Well, the Airbus will be nice to us, you know what I mean? We'll go back onto the runway here for a second. Look at the effects, look. Right, so we need to make it, this is so cool looking. We need to make it wet again on the runway, yeah? Make it wet again. Just that extra immersion. It really does. Like, it's the subtle little things. So they're contrails, engine heat blur, thrust on rain, wings, right? We're not finished though. Weather, make it terribly wet again, please. Let's see if we get that cloud up. So still give me the rain. How's that looking? Yeah, so it should be raining. It should be lashing rain, which it is. And again, right, you have all of these dynamic options to absolutely cool everything down, right? So if you have thrust on rain, you can turn it off. You can put it on like high, medium, or low. Leave it on dynamic for kind of, you know, that's where we want, right? What else can we do here now? I'm just like, I'm blown away by that. I mean, look at that detail there in the back. Look, that's incredible. Like, it's insane. Back her up there now, Finton. Man alive, it looks incredible. Look at the effects, like, they're just getting thrown all over the shop. Look at that, though. Ah, lads, look at this state. Isn't that unreal looking, isn't it? It's incredible. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Right, whoa, now, Jemima. Put on the old parking brake and let all that kind of dissipate, right? Yeah, just like a Skoda. Wait, what? Right? Now, so you get the idea. Rain effects. And they do the same on dirt and all this sort of jazz as well. What about the environment? So this is where we were looking at the contrails. So if I like tidy up the weather here for a second, wait and you see this now, right? So we'll go back to what I had it on. I think it was Sublime. Okay. Now the runway is still wet, but that's okay. So it was in here we were able to view contrails up in the sky from other aircraft. If you look over there, you'll see one. Kind of way off in the distance. And the contrails are done in such a way that when you change the time of day, it absolutely shows. Like, it absolutely shows. It's incredible. And we go backwards. Of course we can. So I think I know what you're looking for. Are you looking for, like, the stuff on the front? We have this, the contrail stuff is there, and you'll see them populate depending on what your AI traffic is doing, yeah? So the immersion packs will contain the handcrafted reverser effects. So they're going to be more, like, this, remember lads, this is the base package. So this is going to give you the visual effects as a basic. It'll include all these effects that we've seen so far, the contrails. You're going to see all of that stuff straight out of the box. But then, like, there's, look at the contrails over there, look. They're going to add in then specific ones to the aircraft, right? It's a cover of all the things in the general FX package, yes. Now, I want to show you something absolutely, absolutely brilliant, right? Now, on this screen here, this should work. You guys see that QR code? Can you see the QR code? Get your phone or get something and get onto that QR code. I want to show you something cool, right? So let's go to nighttime here for a minute. So here we are at nighttime. Yes, it's all terribly nice, right? So this QR code, the Aurora Borealis, and also the Australis, right? The northern and southern lights. The natural light displays in the sky, mostly seen in the polar regions. They're caused by particles from the sun interacting with the Earth's magnetic field and the atmosphere, creating colourful dancing lights. That QR code brings you to Parallel 42, and they're tracking the actual real-world location of where the auroras are where they're visible, where they can be seen, where they are visible. And you'll see here that we have some options. Visibility is set to real time, and the intensity is realistic. However, if I change from real time to always, right? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Right? So you remember, long time ago, we got Jeppesen to make us, you know, the northern lights in a region, and you can fly through them and you'll see them, right? So what we have here, we have the option to turn these guys on wherever we want to see them, right? Or we keep this in realistic mode. So you can actually say, hey, I want to see them. Visibility is set to always or real time. That means you got to fly to the real world locations, tracking on this. If you go down to this QR code, that'll show you where these auroras are currently visible, right? However, if you just want them to appear, boom, there they are. Now, their intensity is realistic. You can change that to subtle or extreme, and just have a, like, holy mother of sweet Jesus, would you look at the state? Isn't that absolutely incredible? Isn't it only gorgeous? So, like, you can add in, that was a quick abrupt stop to the music, but you can add these in wherever you want, and you can control the intensity of them. So that's You know, that's realistic for saying, Jesus, Murph, they're a bit on the heavy side. We should turn them down. That's subtle. That's probably nicer. But look, yeah, it is. Look at the state of that. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Not only that, but you have the friggin' Aurora Borealis, or the Southern Lads, the Southern Lights. Combine that with your contrails flying through. It's just, what in the name of all? Isn't it brilliant? And this is all part of the SimFX package, which again, it's a base package. It's a base package. And then you'll have aircraft specific add-ons or immersion packs being released. Okay? Being released. So, 2 exclusives shared so far tonight. Now we have a third exclusive. Because you might want to know, well, how much is it going to cost? The pricing has been undiscussed until this very moment. SimFX will sell for just $20 with every feature you see here, and yes, that includes the Auroras, north, south, east and west, or whatever the hell we want showing up. It's going to be for $20. That's how much this add-on will cost. You get the Auroras, you get your contrails, you get the ground effects. That is your base package. 20 bucks. Now, an important note. When it comes to the specific add-ons, right? Where's the sentence here? Basically, Edson, I don't want to say something I shouldn't have, but if the base pack costs 20, the individual bespoke add-ons or immersion packs, how much are they going to cost? What if we want to pay more? Yeah, right? I could start... Oh, wait, hang on. I could start camp out, turn on the... Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. So it's 20 bucks to buy the base package, and then when it comes to the immersion packs, they will sell for less. They'll sell for less, yeah? It's pretty cool. We have all the options here. Like, it's lads, it's super. It just is super. And as I said, like, it's so strange until you actually kind of see the aircraft flying along, and when you see things like contrails and you see those effects, you know, water effects and all the sort of jazz, it's only when you start kind of seeing them in the sim, you're thinking, holy crap, I didn't realize I was missing those. Until you realize you were missing those, and, you know, you see them. You know what I mean? That's so funny that I'm parked out on a runway. Can we see any contrails forming here now? One sec. Sure we will. Let's clear off some of these clouds here. So it depends on a number of things. As I said, I'm using Just Flight's FS traffic, so that'll populate aircraft, and you know you'll get the odd one here and there, you know. And after a while, you'll definitely see the contrails appear. So we saw it there a few moments ago. There was friggin' tons of them, right? There was tons of them. But this also works with the default AI traffic engine. And we know that that's getting a hefty update with Sim Update 15. A hefty update. Do you know what I mean? Now, the most important thing, because you're all probably wondering, Jesus, these look great, but how is this possibly going to run on my system? Let's go to the options, the settings. And in here, we have what's called dynamic quality, in which I have it on quality. Turn the divel flat up. So, this controls the auto quality settings. It automatically adjusts the quality of all the SimFX FX based on the performance of your simulator. A more aggressive setting will reduce or eliminate effects entirely when low performance is detected. This means you want to keep a certain FPS, all the effects being generated by SimFX, if they're set to dynamic, it'll say, okay, hang on a second, let's go to balanced, right? So as it starts to balance this, it'll either reduce or increase the detailing on the effects based on what your settings are going to be. So I have everything set to dynamic. Everything's on dynamic, right? And with our settings here, we can change it from balanced. We can go performance only. Give it a few moments to think about life for a moment. So you can see there's already effects here on the ground. We're getting the heat blurs and all this sort of jazz. Right? We go back in here. So on performance, it's chugging down. We go to quality, it's going to give it everything. Going to give it everything. Yeah? Now, let's just double check, because I think those FPS counters might be slightly out. Maybe they're not. Yeah, they're slightly out. Like, I'm getting 70 on mine. That's reading it. So Edson, maybe there's something there with the FPS counter. I wonder, is it reading the FPS of that internal screen? Maybe? Let's just verify that by using another... So FPS I'm getting is like 66 to 70. So I'm getting about 70 frame generation. Frame generation. Yes. Okay, because so this is reading the actual state without frame generation. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Look at you, clever people. That's because you're using frame generation. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Now, bearing in mind, if I turned off frame generation in DX12 and put my settings back, I usually get about 55-ish FPS. But what I'm saying here is all of this dynamic quality, everything is baked into the sim or into this program to say, okay, we're going to keep your dynamic. Here's the performance in here. It's going to match it to what you're getting in the sim. It's built in such a way that SimFX will not burden your machine any more than you want it to. If you want to keep the thing as close to your current FPS, it reduces the quality. See the way you have this number here in around 25? If I say, yeah, screw it, launch it up there. I set it to quality and it's now on 100%. We're giving you socks, all the quality you want, right? Or if you go to balanced, it'll go up or down depending on what your sim is actually doing. That's mad. Murphy's using them the fake frames, right? But the point I'm making here is if you're not on a particularly high-end machine, these sort of visual effects up until now, usually they're outside of your reach because you got to suffer somewhere else to get these visual effects. And a lot of the time, they're only really added maybe to the wings, or you might have a bit of ground stuff coming up at you. Nothing to the level of this. You can now tweak this system, tweak SimFX to say, hey, keep this thing so it doesn't, destroy my FPS in the sim. And you can set all these sliders. And when you leave them on dynamic, or you can just, if you want to control yourself, no problem. Put everything on low and it'll do stuff on low. Medium or high. You have the option to tailor this to whatever setting you want. If you put it in dynamic mode, well, the program itself, it's running, it's looking at it, it's saying, okay, we're giving you 100% quality at the moment, but your frame rate, excluding my frame generation, which is about twice that, if I put it into performance mode, it'll drop the quality to closely match and maintain your FPS. It's like, you've seen it before with the likes of Auto FPS. The beauty about this thing is it's hard coded. It's not looking at values or otherwise. It's not just looking at values. This thing is active. It's thinking about what's happening, if that makes sense, right? Curly Toe says, you're currently flying the Phoenix and it has the lowest FPS. Yeah, but there's that as well. But I'm using frame generation. Like on DX12, my actual frames are closer to 70, which is correct. Frame generation usually gives you double what, the sim usually would. Lads, this is pretty cool, right? And again, this is just the base pack. Just the base pack. When it comes to, and look, it's picking up the Phoenix. It's going to throw on the base pack effects onto everything. Then they're going to get into handcrafting bespoke immersion packs for the aircraft. And we've seen what some of them look like before. You're talking rain effects. You're talking like water building up, vapors on the engine intake, vapor lock on vapors coming up off the wings for the low pressure. Amazing stuff. Visually amazing stuff, And of course, you're probably wondering, yes, you can add this to your flow wheel and just keep it there running in the background. So on Friday night, I'm going to be flying this thing in a live environment with multiplayer cranked up. We're going to be giving it socks because I want to see how well will this work and what sort of effects am I going to see being generated from other aircraft. Plus, I'll have a bit of live traffic in the sky as well, just to really kind of see, right, what's going to be the impact here. And we got to check this thing out with choppers, because it's one thing seeing the rain getting pushed back and dispersed by, the engines pushing and thrusting. When you see a chopper, we see that rotor, the upwash, the downwash, all that kind of stuff, it's going to look mad. Mad. Do you know? So, release date, not yet confirmed, but I would say, I don't want to say close, but like, I mean, I would have to say it looks close, right? And the price is $20. $20. Isn't that cool? What do you think of that, lads? Absolutely fantastic. VNL contrails after appearing now. It all depends on your traffic in the sky. The time of day affects FS traffic. Oh, Jesus, there's a fella coming in now, look. What if we do this? Traffic. Turn it on there now to AI. Goosh. Let's see what happens here. This could be just like processor overload, but sure, we'll see what happens, right? I don't see anything just yet. What if we put on live traffic? Murph, take us somewhere cold with traffic. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, will it do it from the sim, Edson? It will. So if I just crank the sim. Maybe not. Okay, somewhere cold. This weather won't give you contrails. Yeah, okay. Take us somewhere cold. Right, lads. Somewhere cold that might have a lot of air traffic. You know? It takes every variable into consideration. Crank the cold, ensure you have traffic. Gotcha. Mr. Vi, or me Vive, good to see you. What's the latest update today from Microsoft? So in your sim, they've updated the last world update with some water masking. You know? Canada. Use Just Flight and generate traffic. Yeah, I'll do. Right, let's have a look. And sure, let's go in an L chopper here for the crack, will we? I mean, we might as well, lads. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Where's my old favourite helicopter in the world? Here we go. Right. Somewhere cold, you say? Texas Ray is up there. What about, we can go up here. But you're not going to get much air traffic. What if we go up here? It's got to be cold and up around Seattle neck of the woods, isn't it? Let's just go here and see what happens, just for the sheer crack of laughing, right? Vancouver. No, Victoria, right? Get to the chopper. I'm looking forward to this. If I had Microsoft Flight Sim still, as I no longer even own it, I would have got it. Ashley, you got rid of Microsoft Flight Simulator? Why would you do such a thing? I know you're a sucker for X-Plane, but like, do you know what I mean? Would you need to get rid of it? Right, let's see what happens here. It'll extend those contrails, VATS and traffic are just user planes. Ooh. Right, give it a second now. Give it a second. All should be revealed in my little helicopter. We go live weather and see what's happening. How cold is it here? Few clouds broken. Temperature's 9 degrees. We'll go with 9 degrees. Why not? Right, give it a few moments. Turn off the other thing because this will just freak out. Real time, why not? Give it a sec. Can I customize this, Edson? I can. We'll make it shocking cold. Cold and snowy, or just like give us cold. Something like that, right? Something like that. Because this is going to be cold. And we'll give it a few minutes, right? Okay, so there's real world aircraft there. I can hear them. They're just not high up. They're not high up enough. That's a dove. What's a dove doing there? That's weird. Okay, we can't see that in here for a minute. The plan didn't work. Traffic takes a moment to spawn, then we need a few moments for the planes to travel and create their contrails. It's not as instant as they just get loaded in. Okay, even if it's reading the simulator stuff, yeah? Okay, so while we're sitting here, let's see what we can do to our little happy chopper over here. So, right, if I was the chopper, where would I have buttons? By the way, this is the Teague's Hangar Alouette 3. It is my absolute favourite helicopter, because I think it's brilliant. Power up there, Betsy! Isn't this pretty? Bit of fuel flow. Just like traffic is
Houston,
also
we have a
light.
problem.
We have a problem. Okay, that. Okay, that. There we go. Not sure if you have to crank it up. Not setting wise, I have it on full whack with just flight. Let's look at the VFR map. Yeah, there is traffic in the vicinity. So we'll give it a few moments. Is this a freeware heli? No, it's payware. Easy now. It's one of my favourite choppers in the sim. And the sounds. They've nailed the sounds. Right. Let's kind of go exploring here. Make it wet, maybe? That's a good idea. Although I don't want to mess too much with the temperatures. Okay, let's see what we can do, right? Yep, see Daisy. Easy now. Downwash on dirt. Who didn't like that? Alright, let's see what happens. Let's go into the wet stuff. So it says it's on, right? Engine heat blur and then downwash. Shouldn't this just be rain? Winter. Ice and sleet, snow, heavy winter. Right, put us into spring, I suppose. Stormy showers. That's summer. Snow. Just give us rain. It says default, but I don't think I can change that. So you are seeing some effects there, yeah? So by default, this chopper doesn't have downwash effect. Okay. Try the Cabri. Right, we're going with the Cabri. Okay. Let's change the chopper. We're learning things tonight, lads. That's what it's all about. We're learning things. It's because it's not default. Yeah, yeah. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. So what is it the Cabri? Or the Bell, I suppose. That's default, isn't it? Let's have an old gawk. Wasn't bad in that airport. I wasn't getting just flight stuff there. Alright, let's see. Choppers. Chopper. So we're looking for a rotorcraft. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it is. Right, let's go with that one. Let's not go with that airport. Stewart. Some of that's like shocking. Well, New York is busy, isn't it? What's the temperature like in New York, lads? It's bananas. Although, no, we want you want to see like the dirt and stuff, don't you? Boston is always busy. Go to Boston. Yeah, there's traffic and all up here, look. Where's that? Beverly? Let's go to Beverly. Beverly Regional. Over dirt or over water. Yeah, we're going to check it out. Any chopper, it will work. Okay. Provided the chopper yeah, okay. So if it's a third-party chopper, they need to have downwash in it. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Well, it makes more sense than what, it did. All right, let's see what happens here, so. This aircraft will probably start loaded up. But like, what we'll do on Friday, there'll be more of this. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Do I have view set up in this? I don't. So I want that view. I want that view. I want that view. Right. Okay. Chopper, scene. Right. Let's see what we can do here to start playing. Let's check our options. I wonder do I need to restart my sim? Because now it's just not liking live. Alrighty. Do you have your traffic settings correct for... Yeah, just right, I should have. Alright, so what we like over like dirt or grass? Yeah, I'd say we're in need of a sim restart here because the application isn't working either. Oh Jesus! So on that bombshell, yeah, I'm not going to do another restart. Your sim board probably. There was an update today, Edson. So like, I don't know, but yeah, I can't get back into that. So yeah, tune in on Friday. I will show more of this, but you had trouble with that one too? Okay. Just remember, lads, it's not released yet, so don't worry. And things like this is always very good feedback. But the whole idea here is to show you kind of what's being cooked up. So Parallel 42's SimFX, it will be available on PC, then Xbox. It's priced at $20, and it's going to act as the base package for all these effects. Do you know what I mean? My sim is not being nice tonight because like I've already had one CTD. There's a problem with friggin' terrain over there, and most of my menus aren't working right. Which is just the way it's just the way it is. You get nights like that. Some are grand, some aren't grand. Do you know what I mean? Right, turn that off. Just see if that's upsetting it. Yeah, I just need to restart my sim, but it'll take another 20 minutes. But anyway, it's coming soon. And a massive thanks to Parallel 42 and to Edson for letting us show this thing off. Like I saw snippets of this on his streams on the Sky Lounge, and I was like, holy crap. And like the snippets we've seen tonight, again, I'll have more ready for Friday, but it's an immersive package. It bakes immersion into your sim, be it with, contrails, the auroras, they're all there. you know, water reacting to thrust from your aircraft engines. The rotor effects from helicopters are absolutely incredible. You will get to see them at some stage, be it over, you know, rough terrain and water as well. Like, it's only when you realize, Jesus, I didn't think I was missing them, until you realize they weren't actually there. You know what I mean? And again, there's optimization built into the product because it has this dynamic mode. It'll lower your settings within the effects in order to maintain your FPS. You know what I mean? It's very, very good. So awesome work once again by Parallel 42. Like, the innovation, the ideas that these lads are having to, you know, bring us the different kind of add-ons to our sim that are very, very enjoyable, and they apply to any kind of situation. It's awesome. It really, really is. So we'll have another look at this on Friday, and it'd be interesting to see how it handles a group flight. But you know, we'll keep it on performance mode and see what happens. So what do you think, lads? Wasn't it cool? It was absolutely brilliant. Edson, thank you very, very much indeed, dude. This is just awesome. It's just awesome. So what we're going to do now for the last bit, I want to have a quick look at Navigraph. Because, lads, well, we use Navigraph quite a bit, right? And do I need the sim on for this? I don't. We'll leave it. We'll leave it there. Navigraph Charts, an excellent add-on. It's a subscription service that you need to subscribe to Navigraph Charts in order to be able to get it, right? However, when we look at Navigraph Charts, for those of you who have it, well, you know some of the things. For those of you who don't have it, well, you might learn something. So the charts package, when it opens up, basically what it does, it gives you a full moving map, and it gives you access to all the Jeppesen flight charts. They're for your SIDS, your stars, airports, you name it, it has it. So instead of doing kind of a quick rundown of some of the options that we have when it comes to our charts and some of the other functionality or additional functionality that's built in on it, right? So we'll ramble over to little old Ireland here for the moment. Now, first and foremost, this is our main map, right? So you'll see here that I currently have my map set to this kind of VIA4. It's modified, so I'm going to reset it. So this is like a default VIA4 map, and this is over Ireland. Ireland doesn't have kind of the sectionals that you'd see in America. Now, the fact that I've mentioned sectionals, well, if we ramble over stateside, right, into the United States, we have an option here to turn on the FAA sectionals. That means you have full coverage of the FAA sectionals when you want to fly using Navigraph. And this is a very new feature, and it's absolutely brilliant. Sky Vector had it, you know, you can go there, and there was a bit of a way that you can get your moving map and whatever else, but Navigraph does it out of the box, and it's brilliant. But it's not just your sectionals, because, well, it includes all the additional information, plus it's interactive. You can click on things, say, hey, what is here? Well, that's Washington Dulles. Oh yeah. And then you can open up the airport. So it's giving you a quick information, the transition level and altitude, you know, its longest runway, elevation, and so on. But then we can go in and open up the airport, right? And we have a ton of stuff in here, right? So the information, well, this is the general information we've just seen. We can also go in and look at the runways. Looking at the runways, you can see that we have these flags essentially showing you wind speed and direction around them. They also have important information here to say, look, this runway is not used, and that's because it's either an ATIS or it's on the NOTAMs. Then you see this runway here says arrival, and this one here says departure, and there's one there behind me head. This also says departure. So we're getting information straight away of what are the active runways here. And you might be saying, well, where is it drawing that information from? If you go down to your settings clog down the bottom, right? You have these. See this ATIS runway status? You can change your options in here. It says real, IVAO, pilot edge, or VATSIM, right? So I have it set to VATSIM. If I change that to real, it'll give me different information, but I keep it on VATSIM. That's just what I do, right? So that's pretty cool. So we're looking here then at Washington Dulles, and these are the runways. We can also have a look at the comms, the communications, and this breaks it all the way down: approach control, ATIS, clearance delivery, departure control, ramp, terminal control, Unicom. It's all there, all the frequencies. And then we have the NOTAMs, notice to on mission. Is that what they call it? Notice to airmen. Your NOTAMs are all located here. And these are based, again, this is kind of real world stuff. We're building on the runway, or we're building on the ramp, all that kind of stuff. So that's just your general information, your NOTAMs, comms, runway, and then general. So that's for pretty much every airport. Then you go into the charts, and your charts, that's exactly what they are. You have your stars, your approach, your taxi, your SIDS, and then your references. And you can do two things with any of these charts, right? You have an option. So you have this overlay button, and if you click on the overlay, it'll overlay that chart onto the main map. So you have the best of both worlds, because you could be up here somewhere. If you want that full screen, well, you can just click on the actual chart, and there you have it. You just want to look at that chart itself and nothing else. Not only that, there's a couple of options as well. You can pin the divel, and you can create a new pin board. So say, for example, you want to say IFR flight, Shannon to Cork. Create your new pin board and put in the details that you know you're going to use the most, and it'll keep all the information for you in one little place. It's a pin board, and all the information that you want, all the charts that you want, well, they'll live in there. Super handy. Another thing we can do, if we do open the chart itself, well, you have options going up here on the right hand side. You can change the chart from displaying in kind of daytime mode, but if you're flying at nighttime, you can just click of a button. It puts it into this, it flips it, into it's easier on the eyes at nighttime. And the beautiful thing here is your aircraft is overlaid on the charts as well, which is super handy, right? Now we can also rotate the charts. In case you didn't know that, you can zoom in and zoom out, of course. You can make the things full screen. And you can also print them if you wish. If you wanted to print that chart or that approach plate or whatever it is, well, you can absolutely print them. So they're the options you have there, right? And you'll notice now, because I put it into nighttime mode, well, the whole world is now nighttime, we'll put it back to day. Close the chart. So let's go back over to here. And I want to do some customization for the map, right? So we currently have it on FFA or FAA sectionals. Well, I could change this to a satellite, which is great. Or I can go to, a world map. Or we can go to VFR, and that puts in all the all the different classes of airspace. We can go IFR, either high altitude or low altitude. Right? Going to keep it in IFR high altitude for the minute. And again, see the way it's saying that it's modified. You have all these layers here, and these layers you can choose. Look, I don't want to see the cities. I don't want to see elevation. I don't necessarily need to see kind of mountains and stuff. For whatever reason, I don't want to show the airports, and I don't want to show any airspace. I just want to see navigation map layers, and these are going to be your waypoints, a couple of VORs, that sort of stuff. And again, you can throw it into nighttime mode. You see what I mean? Like, it's very flexible to get the viewpoint right. So if you ever feel like, there's too much stuff going on in my map, I don't understand it, but you can filter all of that stuff on or off, which is super, super handy, right? So I'm going to go back here to VFR because I like seeing the different areas. Now, let's say, for example, right, Murph, there's all your charts. What about the procedures? Now, that's going to go back to that airport. So let's unload that airport. How do we do that? Sorry, I need to select a new airport. Let's go back to Shannon. Have a look at this, right? So Shannon Airport, open the airport. It's the same crack. I can now have a look at all the procedures. And not only that, but they're going to show me on the map what these procedures are. So if you're ever wondering, Jesus, how do I get from there to there on a departure or on an approach or on an arrival? Like, if I'm coming from this neck of the woods, where's the nearest arrival to me? If you're leaving an airport heading in a direction, well, where's the nearest departure to me? This allows you to start breaking them in. And we'll get back into this now in a moment because you have arrivals and approaches. All the jazz is there depending on the runway. The last bit we look at here is the weather, right? And you can see you can get a METAR, you can get a TAF, or the ATIS. And again, you can choose the ATIS. Where's the source? Is it real world? Is it IVAO, Pilot Edge, or VATSIM? Now, there's no information coming in yet for Shannon, which is strange. No real ATIS available. That can happen. But that's where you get it from. It's able to pull in METARs. It's able to pull in a TAF. But the ATIS is just not pulling it in just yet. Usually, the VATSIM controller has to be online to do that, right? we won't worry about that for the moment. What I want to show you here now is a flight, and a new flight, because we're going to actually plan a little flight directly inside of Navigraph. You may not have ever tried this before, but you absolutely can. So I'm going to select my origin. I'm going to put in Shannon. It's already here, but you can just type in the ICAO code. So I'm going to say, I want to go to Shannon. Okay. Where do you want to fly to? You can type it in, or I want to go to Cork. So I'm going to add Cork in. Okay. So you're now doing a from Shannon to Cork. Brilliant. Well, what else can I do here? Well, I have some runways. Now you're saying, okay, well, what's the weather doing? Go back in, check the meter. So Shannon, the wind is, where are you? 360 at 3 knots. So we're going to take off runway 6, right? So let's go back in here. So we're going to say runway. Now, if you're unsure, again, look at what the screen is telling you. It's telling you that the best wind is looking at runway 6 for a departure. Okay, let's put in runway 6. So we're going to be Shannon, runway 6. What about a departure? Let's select. These are going to be overlaid. So if we're taking off from runway 6, it means we're going to be taking off this direction. We're going that way, right? Up here somewhere. So how on earth can we transition ourselves down to Cork? Well, look at it here. You know, the Lunnig is only going to get you out that neck of the woods. The Abigail is going to bring you that way. It's going to be Curram. So let's select Curram. So saying it's going to be the Curragh 3 Alpha departure. If you're unsure, you can look at the overlay of the chart. And you can see now if you have any speed restrictions or any sort of restrictions or constraints, right? Turn that off. So I'm going to select the Curragh 3 Alpha. Okay. Now, don't worry about this thing. This was confusing. Your aircraft won't do that. Don't worry. Don't worry about that part here. I've been on to Navigraph about it. I said, lads, that doesn't make sense. They said, yeah, we know. You wouldn't have this sort of a turn and then out. That should be just a nice arc heading out, right? Usually in a situation like that, you probably would get vectored because they wouldn't bring you to this Gatlow waypoint. They'd bring you further down here. In a real world scenario, when you take off, you're going to be going this direction. So it'll be a turn over to the right by Gatlow. So it's a little, I don't know if it's a bug or just the nav data it's reading. I don't know. But the tower would not expect you to take off from runway 6 and then immediately turn back to here. Plus your aircraft won't do it anyway. Even when you copy and paste the flight plan into the aircraft, it won't do exactly this. So don't worry about this for the moment, right? It doesn't look like a departure. No, so there's an issue. It says runway 24 here, but that's a waypoint, right? But don't worry about that for the minute. Now, when it comes down to Cork, we're saying, okay, we want to go to Cork. What runways are available in Cork? And again, we can have a look. Now, there's runways in Cork that usually aren't used, 7 and 25, rarely used. They're small. These lads are usually used for the flight school down in Cork. Usually, right? But anyway, we're not going to use them. We're going to use the main runways. Runway 16, we're going to select that. So runway 16, so I'm going to say, well, what about the arrival? Okay, well, how do we get ourselves to runway 16? We're coming in here on Curram, yeah? So we said, well, if we're going for runway 16, that's pretty much straight in. So we can say, well, we're going to go Curram. Here's the Curragh 1 Romeo. Again, overlay the chart. Yeah, it's going to be straight to Curram and then straight in. Let's add that divil in. Now we have the approach, because runway 16, there's actually an ILS there. So if we go to runway 16, we can go on a VOR. And again, these are all visualized for us. Here's where Curram stops. But what do we do after this? Are we going to go on a VOR or are we going to go ILS? Let's go ILS. Okay. So it's going to select an ILS. So we're going to come in this way and then straight down. We're going to add that to the route. And that's our flight. This is giving you your missed approach information here as well. Now you might say, right, well, there's a flight plan up the top here. Look, but that's it. So we're going to depart runway 06 out of Shannon on the Curragh 3 Alpha, then Curram, then it's the Curragh 1 Romeo arrival for an ILS approach for runway 16. Right? We can also add in an alternate, because when you do IFR, you have to add an alternate. Now, a lot of the time, SimBrief will send you back to Dublin. We don't need that. We're going to put in Kerry, which is here. So our alternate is Kerry. Okay, what next? Options. So your flight plan name is that. Our altitude will change to 7,000 feet for the crack. We are on IFR, and we're going to go standard chart mode. And then we can go to export, right? And we can export that flight plan and load it into the sim if we wish, no problem. However, if you copy to clipboard, copy the div to clipboard, right? Now check this out. This is handy for, putting your flight directly into VATSIM if you wish. But even our own website, when we're doing this on, and we'll do this again on Monday, right? If you wanted to use this for your flight plan, when we're doing our ATC stuff. So we go to flight planning, right? Now, don't mind any of this information. That's my call sign. Might as well be an A320. Why not? Departure. Lift out all of this stuff here for the moment. If I just paste in my route details, there's my route. That's the route. Now, I can get rid of that Cork part at the end if I wish, because there's an ILS for runway 16. So, effectively, how'd you get that out? Something like that will work. Or I can put that I'm going in on the ILS. But you can do that from within Navigraph. You can also export the flight plan, right? I mean, you can export that to anything you want. It could be Microsoft FlightSim flight plan. There's a whole load of options there. You just export it, which is handy, right? But that's how you do a kind of a fairly quick flight plan inside of Navigraph without going into SimBrief or otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Pro tip, you can right click on the departure and arrival icons in the flight strip to set your departures. Say that to me again. You can right click on the departure and arrival icons up here. Yeah, well, you can change these as well. Yeah, 100% you can. So up the very, very top, you can change, set departure, open the airport diagram. Yeah, show me Shannon there, will you? So it'll zoom right in. All up here is alive as well. Okay? Like, it's worth exploring this thing because it's very, very good. Now you can see on the map we're showing our route. We can turn that off. Or we can turn off our route details. And show full route on the map. That'll lock it in there. You can change the direction depending on where you're looking at. But not only that, if you don't want just a top-down view, well, the map is friggin' 3D, look. So if you want to get in and have a look, well, how's my map? How is this route looking and how am I going to follow it along? And if you want to get very creative, you can put it into nighttime mode. And if there's still too much stuff on your screen, sure, you can turn stuff off there. Do you know what I mean? You can turn off a whole load of stuff if you wish. Okay, so like the map is very, very customizable. You'll get exactly what it is you're looking at. And don't forget, your aircraft is going to be tracked. It'll be moving on this. So you can absolutely, tailor this view to something you're very comfortable with. So you know exactly where you are. I mean, that's what Navigraph have done here. They've built this in such a way that you will know exactly where you are. Like, you go back a couple of years, Navigraph was just the chart. That was it. There was no overlay of an aircraft. There was nothing. It was just the chart. And they were individual and they were not laid out like this. You had to go digging for them. This is just incredible, right? Now, there's other things we can display on this screen if we wish, including we have telemetry, which is a new thing. So if we bring up telemetry, well, that's going to give you some key information of what's happening inside your sim. So your airspeed, your altitude, vertical speed, destination time, all that jazz, even what your transponder is. And you can add even more stuff. You can add in more stuff. So if you wanted to see, Jesus, what's my true altitude, for example? What's my climb gradient? The coordinates of my aircraft's position? What's my bank angle? Like, there's a whole load of stuff you can choose here, and you can add that metric in to appear on the screen when you're running your telemetry, right? Like, this is brilliant stuff. And the last one we're going to look at is weather. You can overlay different weather conditions that's happening within the world of your sim. And again, if the view is getting difficult for you to make out what's happening, we'll just change the time of day and say, oh, okay, look, yeah, here's rain. Look, there's rain coming in this area. Jesus. And you can change the map here. If you don't want to be looking at a VFR map, just go to a satellite view. Okay, there's rain on the way. Play that. What direction is it moving? So you can see, yeah, there's rain moving across Ireland. And you can, the date range is there, right? You can change this now. You can go to METAR, you can go to turbulence, icing. There's a whole load of different options. Even the jet streams. If you want to see, right, how good are the jet streams doing? Oh, Jesus, yeah. Well, we have the normal North Atlantic stuff, right? And the direction in which the wind is blowing. It's always easier flying from, the west to the east. And then you have the northern jet streams as well. And it's color coded. Anything kind of orange upwards, that's where you're laughing. That's like 100 and odd knots. So you want to get up to that altitude, right? But we can also bring up the wind barbs if it's easier for you to read barbs. These are all kind of meteorological stuff, but you can see every line on the barb is a denotion of a number of knots. It's 10 knots usually. And you can change the altitude. So we're currently at 22,000 feet. But what's it like up at 380? A lot stronger. Naturally, the wind gets faster the higher up you get. You can also see pressure, visibility. There's a whole load of stuff here, right? Vertical velocity, uplift. Now that mightn't be very good this neck of the woods, but you go near some mountains, you'll see it here, look. Where's it now? 38,000 feet? No, 10,000? Vertical velocity. Where's it even populating that? It's over here, look. So it's putting it in places. Let's change the height. Like, it models all of this into your city. Like, it's incredible what it can do. And it's basing this on live weather, yeah? So that's what you can do with the map overlay. How cool is that? Did you know it was there, lads? Did you know it was there? And again, if you don't want to use all that stuff, we'll get rid of your just get rid of it. Disappear it, yeah? Now, what else do we have here? Oh, yeah, here's one for you. So Dougal asked a question about this earlier. Just before we let you go, I'll have a look at the sim settings another day, lads, right? But there was one here. Dougal was asking, is there a way that we can write something on the screen? Well, there is, right? Zoom It is a system program from, I think it's Microsoft do it, and you can download it, right? So I'm going to download Zoom It. I'm going to show you what it can do, right? So let me see here now. Go to me downloads. Where did that go? Into my downloads, please. Thank you. You come over here. I don't want to show you a little program. I'll share it with you. It's called Zoom It. You may have used it before. Hope you in there. You may have used this before, but if you haven't, I'll show you what it looks like. Downloads. Zoom It. And I want to extract this. Now, when you open Zoom It, it should appear. This gadget here. Look, yeah, I agree with all of this. And now I can start doing some stuff. It's an overlay for your screen. Now, all the buttons, there's a list there of how you get into it and how it all works. But you get the idea. Live zoom. All right. Live zoom. So draw. Okay. Type. All the jazz, right? All the jazz. Okay. So if I press Control and 1, see the way the whole screen just zoomed in? The whole screen has now magnified, and I can edit how much of a magnification that I need, but that's okay. Let's say, for example, now I'm about to get me taxi clearance, and I'm on the ground here at Shannon. And for whatever reason, I can have this on full screen, or I can have my chart down a little bit smaller. It depends where you have your charts on your screen, right? Or maybe it's on another screen. But this will show you what I'm going to do. If I'm getting a taxi instruction, I can press Control and 2. And I can now start drawing. I need to go this way. And then this way. Up until there. Isn't that fierce handy? You can, like, Navigraph are actually working on their own version that you can draw and write notes and all this sort of stuff. But if you're at an airport and they're giving you kind of a tricky instruction, what I would recommend doing, using this bit of software, you can draw the route in which you got to go on the taxiway, and then you can take a screenshot of the route drawn out, right? Now you have it. You can absolutely have it. You don't have to worry about all these letters. When you're getting your taxiway clearance, you know, I'll show you here. Let's say, for example, we're on, I don't know, we're on stand 34, right? So we get an instruction to say, yeah, pushback approved facing north. Okay, so we can just say pushback is approved facing north. And that's our first little trick. And we've done that. Now we're going to get our taxiway. So it's going to be apron, Delta 1, Delta 2, Charlie, hold short runway 24. Okay. So now we can do this. And there's other key commands there that you can change the color, the width. There's other key commands that do that. So you don't need to worry about, I can't see what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Where's this guy gone here now? And we need to hold short here. Like, it's handy. The in-game app has draw built in. The in-game app. Bill, is that the Navigraph inbuilt one, is it? So I haven't checked that one out yet. This is purely the desktop charts, if you like. Because if you have a second screen, this is going to be handy for it. because you can do all that writing in the corner. If the in-sim panel has it, Navigraph's in-sim panel, well, then you're laughing. Then you don't need to worry about this. But that's if you use the in-sim panel, right? I'll have a look at the in-sim panel maybe next week. But it's just to give you an idea. It's the question was asked, how do you do it on the desktop version of apps or of the app? This is a workaround until Navigraph bring it in. But they are working on it. This will become, redundant soon enough. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's how you do it. It's super handy. And that's a super handy little program. Like, for instance, if there's something that you wanted to see, I can resume here into my little chopper. It works in gaming. So if I press Control and 1, it zooms in on what you're actually... It's super handy. If there's something, a detail you need to see. And you can edit, right? You can absolutely edit how much you want to zoom in by. Well, if I want to zoom in by 4 times, all right, what happens here? Jesus! Now, you're not necessarily zooming in terms of this sort of zooming in. You're making the image on the screen bigger. You're just making it bigger, right? So I left the link there in the chat for you. It's a handy little program. Zoom It is the name, and it can do all sorts of cool stuff. You can even record off your screen. You can snip, do all the sort of stuff. Live zoom mode supporting Windows 7 and higher. Yeah. So run zoom when Windows starts. You have all these options. It's free. It's called Zoom It. And if you want to use it temporarily, you should be laughing. Do you know what I mean? You should be laughing. Right, how are we going for time here? 2 minutes past 12. Very quick look through my settings. If you'd like to see them, as I said, I'm currently running in DirectX 12 at the moment. And then we'll go. So full screen resolution, I stream in 4K and I play in 4K. My anti-aliasing is on DLSS. The super resolution is on DLAA. That's what I'm using. Frame generation is turned on. I have this Fidelity FX sharpening on 200. I noticed the difference. I've turned off VSync. I've HDR turned off because it doesn't play nice with my capture card. DirectX is on 12. And then the rest of the stuff I've tweaked. So my terrain level of detail is set to 200. Ultra for off-screen and terrain data. Buildings, trees, and grass are set to high. Objects level of detail 200. Volumetric clouds high. Texture high. Anisotropic filtering is set to 16. Texture sampling is set to 8. Texture synthesis high. Waves high. Shadow maps are set to 4K. They're tweaked outside of the simulator. You got to go into the configuration file, back it up before you start playing with it. Terrain shadows at 2K. Windshield effects on high. Ambient occlusion on high. Cube map 192. Gray march and light shafts on high. I like bloom. I turn it on. Depth of field is high because, well, I like depth of field. Motion blur is off. Lens correction is off. Lens flare is on because I like that for recording me videos. Glass cockpit refresh rate is set to medium. All right. And of course it says, thanks for Zoom a tip. I was only wrecking my monitor screen using GIF to get the Sharpie lines off. If I recall, system internals are internals tooling built by Microsoft that were then made public. Lots of good stuff here. Yeah, there's some really, really good stuff. Gibble gave me one before. It was called Power Tools. Freaking brilliant bit of kit that was. Microsoft's Power Tools. It was the same idea, and this is the same one as well. Q8 actually takes the shadows up to 8K. Ooh, I need to try that, Bill. My little chopper, yeah. So they're my sim settings, lads. I do have other stuff going in my NVIDIA control panel. I'll show you that briefly. And again, if I'm going too fast, you can have a look back in the video. So my NVIDIA control panel stuff, there's a ton of videos out already. There's no point me doing another video, right? But just at the very start, my 3D settings, global settings, there are 2 things I have set in my global settings. My shader cache is set to unlimited, and my power mode is on prefer maximum performance. That's it, nothing else. However, also your video color settings, this is important. Make sure you're using NVIDIA's and the dynamic range is set to full. Can't help you on the AMD side yet. I have an AMD machine on the way soon, and I'll get that up and running. So when we manage our 3D settings, we're now going to go into the program settings, and we're going to find, that's explained, we're going to find Microsoft Flight Simulator, because there's a couple of bits and bobs I put in here. Now, I was testing the other day some registry edit stuff.
Give yourself to the dark side.
Right? Explain. Thank you, Scott. I was working on, I think I found something that can squeeze a few XP or FPS inside the registry editor, but I'm still testing it. I don't want to say, hey, look, I did a great thing. Where the hell is Microsoft Flight Sim? I can't find you. I'm blind. Lads, can you see it? Do I go up or down? Am I hot or cold? There it is. Right, okay. So these are my settings inside this. And it's Q8. I pretty much copy what Q8 does, and I might throw something different on myself. So my anisotropic filtering is set to 16. That's the first one. The next one I've made is low latency mode ultra. A lot of people say no, for on my machine, I need it, right? Power management is on maximum performance. My texture filtering negative LOD is set to clamp. Texture quality is on high performance. I can tweak that to high quality, but I lose a few frames for not, I don't really see the difference. Texture filtering trilinear is set to on, and threaded optimization is set to on. Play around with that threaded optimization, because like the sim is technically multi-core, but it's not. But then your NVIDIA will say, no, we'll give it multiple core, right? So there are my settings in the sim and outside of the sim. No doubt there's a couple of Windows settings I haven't gone into. But, you know, by and large, this is based on, you know, my rig, which is it's ridiculous. Like it's I don't know what it is. It's a 4090 with like a 13900K processor and more RAM to shake a stick at. And even at that, you'll see the FPS, sometimes I don't get high performance. So like there's not a whole lot you can do. Microsoft Flight Sims are always like that. You could never get maximum performance. You know what I mean? Right, so that's the kind of scale of it now, lads. We're back to you on Friday. We have a group flight coming up in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. It's a flight around Ireland and up the wild Atlantic way, no less. So looking forward to that. And well, you guys have a fantastic week. And thanks for tuning in, for all the support and all the likes and all the follows. You're very kind. A shout out to Just Flight for letting us show off the SC Designs F-5E Tiger 2. And of course to Edson and the team at Parallel 42 for giving us an exclusive first look at the upcoming SimFX, which I have to say, it looks absolutely brilliant, do you know? And of course the Navigraph for just being Navigraph. They're only fantastic people. So right, we shall see you. Can't believe you're not visiting Louth. Wait, what? Louth? I'm not visiting Louth. Can't believe you're not visiting Louth. When? For the St. Patrick's Day parade. Jeez, I couldn't tell you. Right, lads, that's it for me. We'll see you on Friday as we start the weekend. Good luck to you. Full! Look at me controls. They're gone fully to the left. Oh, mind the building. The Norwegians are going to be sour with us now. Power, man, power. Is there damage in this plane? Does it remember you if you break it? Oh, there's trees. Somebody think of the birds. Oh, no. Right, it's okay. Shh. It's totally fine. Oh, look at it. We've entered the Matrix. Did you hear the noise?